Dexter Kennedy playing against his old club today for Port Adelaide against West. He made his league debut as a 15-year-old at Alberton 13 years ago in 1970. He won the tap, and the first thing we've noticed is that Somerton is going to play on Bomber Clifford, man for man. That's an interesting move. In the centre, Lindner, Morris. Surprise inclusion in West Adelaide's side today towards full forward. Luders, back to Morris. Can he kick a goal? I think he has. Jeffrey Morris, what a start for him. Puts it through, and West Adelaide in front after a minute.
That was very well done by Jeff Morris. A very good kick too. He was under a bit of pressure. He just maintained his balance. The Port Adelaide players not getting into him very quickly. And Morris putting the ball onto his boot. Very well controlled kick. So that's the first score to West Adelaide. Got it out of the centre fairly well too, Bruce, in that early part of the game.
Somerton on Clifford. It's a goal to no score. It'll be Micken and Kennedy. They must know each other pretty well. They rucked together last year for the same club. Kennedy again. Belton. Bennett's with him. Peter Winter. McKinnon and Anderson. Oh, Anderson did it well. And then punches at the full forward. Williams at the back. The two Williams on one another, and Folletic's going to kick a behind. Point to Folletic. And it's a point Port Adelaide and a goal to West Adelaide.
It's a bad miss by Milan Folletic there. Had the chance to get that ball through. He pulled it too far. He could have just about kicked a straight screw punt, I think, Bruce, when he went for that shot. It would be Craig Williams, who fisted the ball away a moment ago to kick in. He does so out to the wing. Winter. And out of bounds in front of the grandstand. Tony Giles not interested in trying to keep it into play. Just letting it run across the line. Prepared to start again. Dexter Kennedy and Mark Micken. Micken with a big job ahead of him today. Kennedy laying it towards Belton. He falls over. Picked up by Bennett. Morris. Morris hitting it on to Conlon. Conlon can't take possession. Ebert pushes him in the back. Then Ebert gets held onto, and he gets a free kick. So Russell Ebert receiving a free kick on the half-back line for Port Adelaide. Almost looked as though he was going to play on. The umpire didn't think he was. Ebert across to the centre of the ground. McKinnon from behind, just fisted away from Anderson. Clifford coming through. Back on his left foot, kicking it to Giles. Giles to Anderson. Anderson can't get it overhead to Kinnear. Bradley. He's a bit quicker. Kennedy. Port Adelaide are going forward through Kimmy Kinnear into the full forward area. Anthony Williams underneath the ball. Props in front of Craig Williams. Team allowed to play on. And Ross Aegis says thank you very much. Named on the centre wing today, but Ross Aegis is playing up in the forward line. I think Greg Anderson is on the wing, and he scores the goal for Port Adelaide. They're 1-1, leading West Adelaide 1 goal.
This umpire was going to pay a free kick to Anthony Williams there. He propped on Craig Williams and then fell over. But Aegis was given the go-ahead by Folletic to keep running. Mark Peake standing Aegis today, and Aegis finished it off and puts Port Adelaide in front after about 3 minutes of football. Ross Aegis getting a chance in the league side today. Kicked 94 goals in his 48 games for the club.
Well, the ball having a bit of trouble getting back to the centre. Mark Micken it'll be to come into the knock in a moment, and he's up against big Dexter Kennedy. Mark Micken done a wonderful job for West Adelaide this season. Held the ruck together. Dirk de Jong perhaps a little bit unsettled about not getting an opportunity. He's lost his interest in the game, so it's up to Micken now to carry the load, and he hits this ball forward to Morris. Morris can't get the kick away. Giles smothering. Kinnear gives it to Ebert. Ebert to Bradley. Bradley blind him to Micken. Micken to half forward. Beautiful movement by Smith. He's certainly in a bit of form at the moment. He goes in short to Luders. Luders' totally uncontrolled movement of that ball enables Danny Hughes to relieve for Port Adelaide.
Look towards Clifford. Went a bit far for him. Somerton. Clifford off the ground, and it'll be a ball in. Neil Curley's obviously had a great deal of thought about the game. He's got Roger Winter on Curtis at the moment, and he's got Somerton on Clifford. I think he's going to play the man-to-man. Free kick to Dexter Kennedy. Back pocket. Very short. Ebert controlled it. It's the captain coach to the centre wing. Micken a little tool for Greg Anderson, and he takes a good mark. In the state squad, Mark Micken to the half-forward line.
Lindner. Russell Ebert won't be able to afford to give him any latitude at all today. He will certainly move and work very hard. Russell's got a big job on his shoulders besides coaching the side this afternoon. He's got to mind this very, very enthusiastic player. Off hands from Kennedy, can't take position. Hughes gets to Kinnear, who comes right up into the back line. Kinnear now rebounding to Belton. Belton filling in the space that's been created for him. He kicks it over the top to Bradley. Bradley with beautiful movement. Intercepted, of course, by Beach as he came across the front to thwart that forward movement by Port Adelaide. Mark Beach returning to the league side this afternoon for West Adelaide.
Harrison Micken it'll be. Port have got 3 or 4 big men around the ground. Outnumber West Adelaide in that department. Belton dropped it. Must be holding the ball. Bennett from the centre wing. Very consistent player. Not a good kick. Anderson will take it. And then play on to Bradley. It's a bit of youth there and class. Bradley missed Clifford. Clifford got rid of it. Then he missed Kennedy.
The second kick Clifford's done, it's gone nowhere, Bruce.
Kennedy to Eckerman, who was tackled by Lindner. And Clifford gets a free kick. And the umpire says that Lindner was hanging onto the ball for too long.
Stephen Clifford. Stephen kicked this one a bit better. John Harvey's run up the outer side and he's found him. Of course, Bradley will take advantage of that. He runs on, but he decides not to use Bradley. Goes straight to half forward. Gill from behind. Faletic just drops the ball. Play on this occasion. West Adelaide now got opportunity from defence through McKinnon. McKinnon running handsomely into the full forward area. Kick long to Luders. Spoiled away by Hughes. Ebert recovers first. Left-hand handball, just gives it back to his opponent, Lindner. Linder's handball to Eckerman. Eckerman hitting it out of bounds. And I think Ebert recovering to the goal squares, picked it up on the way round. Well done, Port Adelaide. John Harvey. Craig Ebert. Port Adelaide getting into a good pattern of work here. Makes his full 15 metres and rebounds for centre wing.
Hamilton spoiling Bradley. Grosser. Bradley's tackle was a beauty. Peter Winter to Hamilton. High. Giles underneath it. Summerton coming in. Micken. Kennedy's tackle. Watson. Short. Lindner's got it. Going to give Russell Ebert some problems. Quickly handballs to Smith, and here's a goal. Smith's got his first. Well done, Bruce Lindner. And West Adelaide in front with 2 goals. Port 1-1.
Yes, it's certainly a big contract for anyone to stand Bruce Lindner. In his present form, Bruce, he's absolutely outstanding. His work capacity is very high. He's not frightened to run. And that play back up in the centre of the ground then when the handball was sent out by Micken to Watson was certainly a very, very good handball. He was under pressure, Mark Micken. Got the ball across and it went into that forward line and the forwards didn't let the side down.
Micken and Kennedy, not a good bounce. Hamilton was forced to go for it. Gee, Micken started all right. That's to the goal square. Luders in the front spot with Hughes. Harvey did very well, kept his balance. Eckerman caught. Harvey fell over.
That's holding ball, Bruce. He put that ball down. He made no
out by Eckerman. Luders missed by Morris. Ball in. West Adelaide very unlucky there. They should have got at least 2 free kicks.
See, that was a good bit of play by Luders to run that player down from behind Ivan Eckerman. Good to see Roger Luders working at that part of his game. That'll make him a very good footballer and, of course, make West Adelaide a much better side.
Craig Ebert over the back. Curtis. Giles fell over. Smith. Summerton paved the way for Grosser. Now the Rover should go. Tries a check side and he puts it straight through. Well done, Grosser. Well done, Summerton. And the Bloods are 3 goals and Port 1-1.
They certainly started off at a very, very fast rate of knots in this particular game, West Adelaide. Carrying on from where they left off last week against Nord. Very quick and exciting game. May have caught Port Adelaide a little bit nonplussed at the moment. I remember a few weeks ago, Bruce, Nord doing the same thing to Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide caught a little bit slowly at the start of the game, but they picked up their momentum as the game progressed.
Micken and Kennedy in the ruck again. 4 goals kicked in the first 10 minutes. It's a very quick start to any match. Hamilton over the top. Bennett, Lindner. A bit long for Morris then. Umpire's allowing it to go on. And once again a ball up. Centre half forward, West attacking. They won the toss and they kicked to the southern end. Probably worth a couple of goals. Micken, Curtis, Borchardt around his body. Free kick will go against Tim Kinnear and go to Ian Borchardt in the centre square.
Well, the decision was elbowing. That was the umpire put his up and said, pointed to his elbow. Borchardt to the pocket. Well placed. Roger Luders on the lead. Takes the ball on the body. He's got an opportunity to really set West Adelaide off to a fast start. So he can keep these balls going through the big ones. And they're certainly going to be in for a very good afternoon. Beautifully timed kick, but not accurate. Roger Luders kicking it behind. West Adelaide's first. They're 3-1. Port Adelaide are 1-1.
It'll be Hughes to bring her back in. State fullback last year, not in the squad in 1983. It's a lovely kick, Danny Hughes. Got Kennedy and Micken. Anderson and McKinnon. Well done, McKinnon. John Harvey's a solid player. Folletic on a lead, and also Ben Harris. Oh, Peter Winter fell over. Watson ended up missing it, and so did the two Port Adelaide players, and Winter gave it to Conlon. Conlon, a cheeky little rover. We saw Daryl Schimmelbusch play a cheeky game for Torrens last week. Lindner way out in front of Eva. He's giving Russell the run around at the moment, and he kicks towards goal. Missing a behind. Bruce Lindner has scored a point. 3-2 to 1-1.
Yes, if Bruce Lindner can just maintain a little bit of composure when he breaks clear on that pace of evasions, because he walks around players with such ease, but he's got to steady himself on the kick. Danny Hughes to half-back. From the back, that was from the front, looked like Harvey in the front position there, Bruce. I misread that
Kennedy,
completely. Kennedy it was.
Handball to Harvey.
Yeah, Anderson's tackled, ball falls from his arms, play allowed to play on. Recovered by McKinnon at centre wing. Now McKinnon into attack for West Adelaide. Ebert with one hand, Lindner behind, gives it to Smith. Smith gives the handball, which is a bad one to Morris. Morris with the back screwy on the left foot. Beautifully controlled, Jeffrey Morris. His second goal early in the first quarter. He's kicked 2 in the first 10 minutes. And it's 4-2 to 1-1.
Robin McKinnon's winning some important kicks on that centre wing. Greg Anderson started off with a flurry. McKinnon's had 2 or 3 kicks since. That one, not all that good, but Ebert put the hand up and he couldn't control it. Lindner's half a handball to Smith. Smith tapping it on to Morris, and Morris kicked a very, very clever goal. And Robert, watch Summerton. He's going to follow Clifford everywhere. They're out of the square together now.
Mark Micken, Dexter Kennedy. Kennedy just hitting it forward. Conlon on the check side. He also hits it to Borchardt. Bennett, prolific kick getter is Randall Bennett. Eckerman in the front position. Taking the ball on body, ahead of Leon Grosser. Plays on quickly to the outer side. And Port Adelaide now with an opportunity to rebound through Craig Ebert.
Takes a bounce. Then a high drop punt, not all that good though. Harris was caught going the wrong way. Peter Winter. Left foot. Craig Ebert and Mike Smith. Ebert takes the mark.
Gee, I thought he handballed that on then, Bruce.
Knocked out of his hand, I think it might have been, Robert.
Meters.
High kick by Ebert. Harris and Winter. Harris has got a bit of height on Winter. Summerton, caught by Bradley. Folletic just chipped it forward. Cantalaftis. Left foot to Lindner, out of bounds on the full. That'll be Russell Ebert, the captain coach. It's 1-1 to 4-2. Been playing about 14 minutes.
Russell Ebert to half forward. Kennedy from behind. Micken in front. Clifford. Folletic. He panics, kicks it forward. Curtis. Nice body take. Well done, Roger Winter. Read the ball very well indeed, but his kick's not good. Ben Harris gets possession of the ball to Alan Gill. He loves kicking the goals. This is Alan Gill. He's right into the square. I'd say it's going to be very close. Not only close, but right through the big sticks. First goal to Alan Gill, second to Port Adelaide. They're 2-1, West Adelaide 4-2.
Magnificent goal by Alan Gill, a great snapshot. Gill kicked a very important goal against South Adelaide last week when the pressure was right on. He scooped the mark in front of Philip Brooksby and then goaled from the pocket. He struggled a bit to become a regular Port Adelaide player, but Russell Evert's shown some faith in him this year, and that goal was outstanding.
The Mark Micken opposed to Dexter Kennedy. Kennedy this time up high. Conlon intercepting again. Well done. Handball to Watson. Watson in front of Borchardt. Borchardt over the top to Smith. He's giving him the run of the ball. Smith comes back. Handball's inaccurate to Morris. He was looking for him. Couldn't find him. Giles with him. He's tackled, holding the ball underneath him, and is penalised for holding the ball. So it'll be Jeffrey Morris He can slight
this,
breeze
Robert.
behind him. You get the distance, Bruce. It's his accuracy. And these are the kicks that West Adelaide need. Last week they didn't do well with them and probably cost them the points from the game.
Very strong kick by Morris. Luders took off early. It's a behind, so Morris has kicked 2-1. He had an eventful week last week. Became a father for the first time. Then had his nose broken and concussed on Sunday. All within a week.
Danny Hughes. An excellent kick. Breeze not holding the ball up that much. Dexter Kennedy. The umpire blew his whistle very early then. Almost those going to play a free kick. Dexter holding his stride in the middle. Roger Winter getting back into defence first. Gives the ball back to Peter Winter. Peter Winter to half forward. Linda. Beautiful mark taken there by Craig Ebert, I think it was. I thought it was Russell at start, but then it was Craig Ebert. Craig Ebert. High. Micken from the front position. Bradley jumping early, made no impression. Larry Watson. Micken. Don't see him kick too many right footers. Half forward. And Mike Smith. Mike Smith at half forward. He's got to get it in quickly. Giving Luders an opportunity. All he has to. Beautiful lead. Ebert dropped back into that space. Russell Ebert. But the kick was too good. The lead was well planned. Came out just wide of Ebert. Danny Hughes bringing up the rear. Given no opportunity or chance whatsoever to intercept.
Luders missed the first one. That's a better kick. Roger Luders' goal. It's 1-1 to Luders. West 5-3, Port Adelaide 2-1.
Yes, Roger Luders certainly led very well then. They brought it in a bit haphazardly, West Adelaide. They got a bit of trouble out on that centre wing for a moment. When Mark Micken got the ball out quickly, Larry Watson came back around, gave it back to Micken. But Mike Smith seems to be doing a pretty good job on that half-forward line again. He got to the ball quickly, marked it, and set the ball on quickly. And Roger Luders this time, accurately, and Westies are 3-2 in front.
Kennedy and Micken. I noticed Valetic in the centre square, Robert. Aimed at centre half-forward. Probably just having a run on the ball for a moment.
I think they'll swap things around a bit, Bruce, with this tagging procedure.
Winter to Linda. Linda's had a lot of kicks. Towards full forward, Eckerman underneath it with Luders. Tony Giles to Hughes. Hughes to Kennedy. One hand, but the big fellow took it and then got around Watson and gave it to Belton.
It's got to be round the neck. No free to West Adelaide. That had to be round the neck. Gosh, I don't know how the umpire couldn't see that, Bruce.
Kennedy again. Kinnear breaks the tackle and then charges towards the goal. Has Anthony Williams on a lead. Craig Williams is with him. Anthony Williams forces it out in front of himself, runs out of bounds, and he'll be forced to bring it back. Good pressure by Craig Williams there.
Out of bounds in the forward pocket. West Adelaide are 5-3. Port Adelaide are 2-1. Port Adelaide now with an opportunity to narrow the gap. Ben Harris and Craig Williams will be to compete for the ruck. Clifford and Somerton still holding each other's hand. Williams goes for the take, as did Harris. Rosser it is. Take the ball for West Adelaide. Gives it across to Cantalaftis. Cantalaftis gets it into Roger Winter in the centre of the ground. Richard Hamilton now. Hamilton over half forward. Eckerman beautifully read. Dropping back in there quickly. In the space, takes the mark.
Short to Harvey. Harvey takes the mark. Plays it on to Craig Ebert. Ebert's made a very good start to the game. Bradley and Grosser. Free kick to Bradley. Centre wing. High drop punt. Folletic and Clifford underneath it. Coming in late was Somerton. Folletic claims it. Might be too far out for Milan. We go short to Ben Harris, who's checking by West Adelaide, and Harris will just hold it up and no doubt go back and have a shot.
It certainly is careless, Bruce. I don't know how Ben Harris got to be on his own there.
He and Folletic seem to be changing around a bit, Robert. Centre half forward and having a bit of a run. Harris from centre half forward with a strong drop punt, and it has just missed. So Harris gets his first score, and Port at 2-2, and West Adelaide are 5 goals 3.
Craig Williams from fullback. Anthony Williams, Stephen Williams and Craig Williams. We've had some Michael Williams in the reserves for Port Adelaide. Richard Hamilton now receiving it. Mark Beach, Bernie Conlon. Eckerman guarding the mark carefully. Conlon certainly moving up the ground. He's getting into that right into that half forward line. His kick strong. Linder puts his foot right to Craig Hibbert's front. He doesn't need anyone to help him get up there, does he, Bruce? He just jumps and...
It's a fantastic mark, Robert.
Keep out of my road, he says.
What's happened here?
Ball's flat. I think he burst. He grabbed it with such great power. It was the Superman take. Bruce Linder's not happy with the ball. He says, here, have this ball. Umpire might have given a free kick against him then, Bruce, for throwing the ball. How would that have been? Threw it to the umpire. Never throw a football. First rule.
I don't really know what to say about that. I'll let that one go. Richard Charlesworth. David Charles. I teach him at school. It's okay, Bruce. Wrong fellow. Bruce Linder. Let's see if he can kick a goal after all that. Long way out. What a magnificent mark he is. Stutters a bit. Then with a long one. It's offline. He got the distance all right. Snuck in for a point. So Linder has got himself 2 points and West Adelaide a 5-4 to 2-2.
Danny Hughes from fullback. Not a good kick, it's a floater. Micken makes an attempt again, he can't control it, trying to knock the ball out. Don't know just how good the effort was. The umpire was satisfied, and as a result he's going to bounce it at half forward for West Adelaide. It'll be Kennedy and Micken to compete for the bounce down. Conlon up there for West Adelaide, only Luder's back in the square. Finally it's picked up there by Anderson. Knocked forward, Hamilton, well done. Long to the pocket, ball bouncing high, Hughes coming out. This time's his spoil, and it goes out of bounds, about 30 metres around from the West Adelaide goal.
Kennedy for Port Adelaide. It'll be Smith for West Adelaide. West have a number of players who help out. They've only got Micken as the one real big man. Giles weaves his way through. Then with a screw punt. McKinnon takes a strong mark against Anderson. And gets 15 metres. Bit unlucky there, Greg Anderson, I think. And McKinnon is right within kicking distance now.
Anderson just walked away then. Bruce took no interest in standing that mark.
Drop punt by McKinnon is long enough and it's straight enough. So West Adelaide get their 6th goal. McKinnon gets his first and it's 6-4 to 2-2 and this is a very good start.
That's the important goals for West Adelaide. It's the goal that they can get from 50 to 60 metres. The ones that Bruce Linder hasn't been able to kick as yet. But that one from Robin McKinnon, fantastic kick, well timed, at an angle.
Kennedy and Micken in the ruck. Caught with a few problems early in the game. Hamilton's doing all right in that centre. Grosser shrugged off the tackle from Kinnear. And then he kicks the ball to Luders on a lead and he makes it. Deep in the pocket, short. They come unstuck, I think. One hand up, Giles. Borchardt handball straight to Harvey. Russell Ebert. Kinnear and Bennett. Bennett almost robbed Kinnear of it, but Kinnear got back on it well. Left foot. Micken will swallow that on the centre wing.
West Adelaide's pressure at the moment on their opponents is terrific. They're chasing and they're tackling. It's excellent as Micken goes to centre half forward. Off hands from Anderson to Borchardt's a bit better handball to McKinnon. He's got pace. He's got no accuracy on this kick. An important kick, Robin McKinnon. 6-5 to 2-2. Great breakaway, McKinnon. Broke offline, didn't straighten his body. Dexter Kennedy's off and David Baker's on.
Hughes goes to Baker immediately. Somerton, he's done a good job on Clifford. Borchardt, Grosser, now he should kick his second. High drop punt, it is going to go through and West Adelaide are going to run on. Grosser's got 2 and it's 7-5 to 2-2.
Beautiful handball by Ian Borchardt, a bit better than his last attempt up in the forward line. Just chipping it across to Leon Grosser. And Leon Grosser kicking the goal. He had a bit of a quiet day last week, I thought. Neil Curley hasn't got a smile on his face, but he's certainly not scowling, Bruce. I think there'd be a little bit of quiet confidence there. The team has started off very well indeed.
It's a long way to go. It's 7-5 to 2-2. Micken and Baker, sorry. Well, Micken just thumps the ball forward. Conlon took it off. Harvey. Luders and Hughes. Now Smith will kick a goal. Oh, he took too long, but he got it. It's through. That's 2 to Smith. West Adelaide have kicked about 4 goals in about 5 minutes. They're 8-5 to 2-2.
Smith took his time, Bruce. It's an indication of his strength. You can't tell with lads like Michael Smith. You look at them, but he's got such great body strength that what happens is under the tackle, he's still able to maintain his balance, and as a result, get the kick away. But West Adelaide is certainly going forward with confidence. They're going through that half-back line of Port Adelaide's at the moment, as though they're not even there. And they've only got to kick another 1 or 2 in the time-on period, and they could be in for a big day.
West have won the ball out of the centre 7 times. Port just the once. Micken the tap. Hamilton almost. Belton. High handball. Anderson and McKinnon. McKinnon again with a short one to Morris.
That's the way to move back from the mark too. Jeffrey Morris didn't allow that player to grab him, but Eckerman coming out quickly, read it well but couldn't take it. Cleared by Craig Ebert, back to Micken, and he's on his own in the centre of the ground and takes the mark. He's interfered with. He's not allowed to play on, of course, Bruce, on that occasion because it was a mark. Handballs it across quickly to Watson. They haven't gained much just at this stage, but they have now. Roger Winter. Straight to the square. Hughes on his own, coming in Smith. And Gross has kicked it. Well done, Leon Grosser. Read it off hands. In fact, very well done by Michael Smith. 9-5 West Adelaide, 2-2 to Port Adelaide.
Yes, Michael Smith did that very well because Hughes had that mark and Smith realised that Winter's kick was not going to make it through, and he really made an effort to challenge Hughes, and he was able to get the ball down to Grosser, and that's a typical Rovers goal. Onto the boot quickly from the pocket, and Ivan Eckerman with a few problems because Leon Grosser's kicked 3 and West Adelaide have kicked 9.
Mark Micken, David Baker. Micken gets the bounce to favour him slightly. Baker can't make the distance. Bradley's put his hands on the ball for the first time, but he can't. When I say for the first time, he had one kick on the outer side. They needed to get a couple of takes. He couldn't get possession of it. West Adelaide was stalemated in the centre again. Micken, Belton, Baker. Too slow to get rid of it. Conlon nabs him. Players after the ball. No one can get an advantage. Slowed down now, late in this first quarter. Micken and Baker again. Hamilton. Linder gives it to Conlon. He's got a score. Grosser with a chance to get a run at it. Too tall. It's Hughes. Grosser had just run into Hughes and knocked him over then. Bruce, that kick was right on line by Conlon. Through from behind to West Adelaide. 9-6 to 2-2.
Port have started slowly in nearly all their matches this year, but this is a major test now. They gave Sturt a similar lead and beat them at Football Park. Linder, Miss Morris, Giles. We fumbled it. He's holding too, and he's holding the ball.
That's a fantastic tackle. He propped on Giles then, and when Giles went to move, he just picked the right moment to nab him.
Conlon from the pocket. It's too far out, the little fellow. He and Daryl Schimmel, which I should imagine would be the 2 smallest players in the league. They both made Peter Plus a state team during the week. A high one towards the pocket, and it's a behind to Conlon. It's 9-7 to 2-2.
Danny Hughes from fullback. Port Adelaide got to hold up for a moment, get their resources back together for the start of the next quarter when they can take advantage of the wind. It's a beautiful kick in. 3 West Adelaide players flew. Roger Winter recovers first and gets a knock in the backside and the free kick to boot. Roger Winter from half forward. This time goes for distance. Linder flies, scored away by Hughes. Eckerman, and out of bounds. Ivan Eckerman just playing safe.
61 to 14. What a tremendous start by West Adelaide. 9 goals in this first quarter. Baker, Summerton just tapped it forward. It's following Clifford everywhere. Craig Evert's probably been the best of the defenders, and McKinnon's winning that centre wing. He made a tremendous impression against Central first up when he had his jaw broken. Took a while against Norwood last week when he first came back, but oh geez, come back here today with a vengeance. And he passes it to Roger Winter, who's having a very good game as well. Might be just too far out, Robert.
But 30 minutes, Bruce, 11 goals, half a minute of goals. Will be close on the time now. I'd say they might get a 31-minute quarter.
High one by Winter. Going to go pretty close. Touched by Smith. And it's through for a point. So that makes West Adelaide 8 goals in front, though. They're 9-8 to 2-2. And Port Adelaide have got a bit of work to do in this second quarter.
Danny Hughes, he's having plenty of kicks. Comes in. Curtis takes the mark. Pushes Winter out of the road. Tim Kinnear, the centre half forward for Lennox. Perfectly placed kick. Lennox decides not to give the ball away, then gives it away late, when I don't think he should have. But Anderson, well done to Bradley. Bradley summing up the situation, balks a couple of times, laces out the Anthony Williams. I don't know if I'm allowed to call him Tony Williams. Anthony Williams now, usually a very, very good kick. 40 metres. Kicks it with his shin a little bit. The ball ducking across. And through from behind. Port Adelaide 2-3. West Adelaide 9 goals, 8.
Craig Williams for West Adelaide. Borchard short. That's the way he's going. And Borchard takes the mark. Captain for the Bloods. He's got Somerton short in the centre. Somerton playing on the bomber today. Pops a little one in towards the centre. Giles got rid of Morris nicely with the body and takes the mark. Tony Giles from the centre square. Paul Belton under the ball. Colin waiting for someone to come out of the back, and they didn't. Belton gets it away back to Kinnear. Kinnear to centre half forward. Harvey and Hamilton off hands. Free kick there for John Harvey. A little lucky. I thought he just bored in with his head down. I might have been a free kick, I suppose, Bruce. McKinnon got a nasty knock in the centre there, and he's okay as Harvey kicks the ball towards full forward. Buell took a ride. Watson tried to break his way clear. Micken got rid of it to Borchard. Very bad handle by Borchard. Bradley caught. Aegis. He's got Kinnear. That's where he's going to go. Kinnear takes the mark. Siren will go any moment. 32 minutes gone. Kinnear too far out. Goes to the goal square. Anthony Williams in the front spot. Craig Williams over the back. Bradley caught. And it'll be a ball up. If you caught it like one before quarter time, Robert.
They certainly would. They need something to steady them. They've got it up into attack now. Williams knocked away. But Sirens for quarter time. 9-8 to West Adelaide. 2-3 to Port Adelaide. Started the second quarter. West Adelaide 9-8, Port Adelaide 2-3. Port Adelaide now kicking with the aid of a slight breeze, although only a zephyr. Ben Harris gets it across to Curtis. Curtis with a free kick for round the neck. And Port Adelaide going straight into attack, having marshalled their resources at quarter time, in the hope that they'll be able to get back into this game after 17 shots for goal by West Adelaide in the first quarter. Craig Williams in the front position. Juggles the mark and is awarded the kick by the umpire.
From full-back, McKinnon gives him a lead, and also Micken. Micken had a very good first term. Conlon towards the boundary line, still in play. Trying to get it out both Port and West. Little kick by Micken. Hamilton, he's won the centre. Somerton. Watson. West Adelaide playing with great confidence. Lindner on a lead.
What a judgment though, Bruce. He let even hit him then, and he was still strong enough to hold balance in the air. Russell hit him strongly too on the way back.
He has tremendous potential, Lindner. He's a unique player, Robert, isn't he? Because he's so good, yet at times so bad, but mainly so good at the moment.
Oh, he's had a great year, and that handball created it. The give that was given to Watson. His kick's not good again, though. Out of bounds on the full. 2 points and one out of bounds on the full now for Bruce Lindner.
It's Hughes to bring her back in. Bennett on the outer side. Bradley. And it's going to be a ball in. So Lindner giving Russell Ebert some problems, but he's not converting. Kennedy and Micken. Kennedy works his way to the front. Morris went without it. Borchard with a high one. Grosser uses his body. Craig Ebert jumps over Grosser and hurdles him. Smith throws it up in the air. Clifford comes out of defence. Has it smothered by Somerton. Grosser. Oh, gee, Clifford ran over the top of him. Glad he missed him. Then Kennedy whacked Somerton across the head and he's going to be holding the ball.
I can't believe that. He punched him in the head. Gosh, the umpires must be watching the ball, Bruce. Either that or they're too close to the game. Perhaps the two umpires have put the umpire so close to the game he doesn't get a good overall picture. Rebound kick. Diving on top of the ball. Kim Kinnear sliding out of bounds with it. So there'll be a throw-in between centre wing and half forward. Slight breeze in favour of Port Adelaide. Beautiful knock by Kennedy to Bradley. Gets it over the back. All West Adelaide players out of position. Kicks to centre half forward. It's brought away from Aegis. Anthony Williams can't take. Craig Williams recovers. Keeping the ball in front of him. Still knocking it on towards Watson. Watson's tackled whilst not in possession. Team's allowed to play on. Umpire judging that to be to the advantage of the team. With one player with the ball, another player hanging on to him as he's dragging him along.
Williams and Harris, so Winter will come in and help out. Missed by Borchard, smothered off Anderson's boot. McKinnon to Borchard with a bit of luck attached. Watson tries to barge his way through. Roger Winter, now Tony Jones. Round his body. Hamilton getting back on it with Aegis. Curtis to Clifford. It's a good kick by Clifford under pressure to the goal square. Gill sets himself and takes a splendid mark against Cantalapsis.
They've played two big fellows up in that pocket. We mentioned about the roving situation, Bruce. I don't think they're worrying about roving too much, the Port Adelaide team. Just leaving Belton, Curtis and Clifford to do all of that, and it's a goal. Port Adelaide now have three. They're 3-3, trailing West Adelaide 9-8.
Port Adelaide worked hard for that.
They certainly did. They came around this side here. West Adelaide had a possession, but a couple of poor handballs as they were coming into attack and allowed Port Adelaide to rebound on them and get back into the full forward area on a one out, and Alan Gill, with a very, very good pair of hands, took the mark.
Micken and Kennedy. Micken takes a longer run up. Kennedy just a couple of paces. Kennedy won it. Conlon tapped it forward, but back to Kennedy. Borchard. It's a man-on-man situation here today. Lindner should have taken that one. Craig Ebert. Mike Smith. Belton ducked his head and got a free kick. Anderson plays on and kicks the ball towards full forward. Beach caught by Anthony Williams. Chance for Gill to kick his third. Now for Folletti. Or Aegis. Take your pick. Aegis it'll be. And through it goes. So Port gets back a bit. Aegis has got two. 4-3 to 9-8.
Here's Port Adelaide running it in. The test is now on the West Adelaide back line. They've got to start taking some action in the centre of the ground to relieve the pressure. Port Adelaide is certainly running very hard into that half-forward area. And they're going to do everything within their power to get some of this lost ground back.
Well, that started when Lindner missed that very easy mark.
He was waiting for a contest from behind, I think, but Mike Smith blocked for him, you see, and the body clash didn't come, and as a result, he's slightly misjudged. Micken just laying it off to Hamilton. He loses the ball before he can get rid of it, taps it through between his legs. The umpire is going to bounce it yet again.
It'll be Kennedy and Micken. Micken does all the ruck work in the centre for West Adelaide until he gets too tired that he can't go on. Micken got the best of that one. Bradley with a high one. Beach and Aegis. Gill, left foot snap. Has missed this time. Out of bounds on the foot. Let off for West Adelaide. Port's movement is very good. Watson gives Craig Williams a lead. Williams not quite quick enough to get it on, so he takes his time.
It's a bit cramped for room. As a result, he's just going to get it away long and strong. Kennedy just holding Micken out of the road. Getting hold of the ball. Kicks it too well almost. Just right on the boundary line. Chancey kick. I suppose that's one place where you're not going to find a lot of players, where Ross Aegis was. He comes in short to Folletti. Port Adelaide still maintaining their confident thrust forward, even after a rather disappointing start, in which West Adelaide kicked 9 goals, 8. One period of play, they went from 4 goals up to 9 before Port Adelaide had scored a goal. They're rallying again through Milan Folletic now. 5-3 Port Adelaide, 9-8 West Adelaide.
Kennedy got rid of Micken there with some fair play and took a good mark. And as Robert said, his kick was a chancy one, but Aegis did well. He took the mark just inside the boundary line. And short pass to Filletic. Filletic is playing a little bit of everywhere at the moment, named as centre half forward, but he's on a half forward flank at the moment. Kicked truly, and so Port Adelaide have kicked 3 goals very quickly after quarter time to get right back in this game.
It'll be Mark Micken again against Dexter Kennedy. Kennedy's done a couple of good things this quarter. The big fellow, he's laid that towards Curtis. He couldn't take it. Bennett gets the ball on to Hamilton's recovered well. He tried to find him in the first place. He couldn't. Hamilton's handball's inaccurate. Something's got the pace on Clifford though. Evades to half forward. Ebert, well judged. And then they're being caught under the ball. Ebert plays on quickly. Kinnear, bounce favours him. He comes back across the ground. Craig Ebert. Greg Anderson. John Harvey. Craig Bradley. Greg Anderson. Still keeping in possession, Port Adelaide. Curtis. Filletic. Goal. Very good bit of play by Port Adelaide. You can see by the way that slow calling even then, Bruce, when we're just going, they just kept possession beautifully, didn't they? They never lost it once from the half-back line, and they took possession, and they're 6-3, West Adelaide are 9-8, and that kick across the ground, who said they don't work, Bruce? It took the whole passage of play back onto the side where all the Port Adelaide players were.
Filletic with 2 goals, Curley with problems after a great first quarter. Important period coming up here. 6-3 to 9-8. Port have kicked 4 goals in about 8 minutes. Curtis to Bradley. Bennett. Just can't get it out of the centre with any system at the moment. McKinnon, now maybe West have got a chance. A lucky kick finds Borchardt. It's not good play. To Bennett. To Smith. Shrugs across. Shrugs away the tackle, I should say, to Conlon. Conlon tried to thump it on. Port Adelaide will get a free kick to Giles. Allowed to play on to Ebert. McKinnon and Anderson. Out of bounds. Can't imagine why Borchardt would want to handball to Bennett. Maybe Bennett called for it when Bennett was going to run straight into a Port Adelaide player.
Well, if the handball was accurate and fast enough, though, Brucey could have made and get it away. They're good players. They can get rid of them that quickly. They've got to get themselves running. See, where they're missing at the moment is West Adelaide are fumbling a lot. Hamilton to Hamilton. That's a little bit more steady. Linda with a chance to jump at it. Kennedy's back there. Intercepts. Eckerman brought to ground. Ebert, Craig Ebert to Russell. Bradley in position at centre wing to receive. Kinnon not doing anything then. Bradley just burying his head into him and pushing him away. Not making any attempt to run behind the mark. It's a magnificent screw punt by Craig Bradley to half forward. Off hands. Roger Winter gets there first. He can't take possession. They all sit on top of the ball. So there'll be a bounce down about 40 metres from the Port Adelaide goal.
6-3, 9-8. Port have kicked 4 goals in this quarter. West hasn't scored. Harris. And Peter Winter. Belton. Scooped it out. Anthony Williams missed it. Craig Williams under pressure from Aegis. And it's going to be a ball up at centre half forward. Port attacking.
This is how West Adelaide got last Sunday too, Bruce. They got a bit panicky in the whole game at times when they had the ball well under control. Now Port Adelaide are taking advantage of it, as Norwood did last week. It's enabling them to get back into the game. Another stalemate right in front of the goal.
I think it's going to be a free kick, Robert. And it might be to Port Adelaide to Ben Harris. Over the shoulder. Leon Grosser tagging Harris. Umpire forced to saying that he was too high on him. So Harris has got a great chance to kick from virtually the goal square. And he might have missed it. He has. So Ben Harris, who might have got a lucky free kick, has given West Adelaide a lucky break by missing at 6-4 to 9-8.
Yes, it certainly was. You don't miss those. It's a bad miss. Pick up those free kicks in front of goal. You'll be expected to convert them. Very distressing for your teammates to be missing those. Craig Williams from fullback to the grandstand wing. Micken on a fast lead. Flies high. Peter Winter takes the mark ahead of him. And juggled mark. First and second grab. He will relieve for Port Adelaide, for West Adelaide rather, from the Port Adelaide half forward line. Dexter Kennedy. Kennedy gives it to Bradley. Bradley to half forward.
Belton from the back, falling mark to Beach, not paid. And again, not Beach, it was Peter Winter again, a ball up. 9-8, 6-4. This game's tightened up considerably since quarter time. Harris and Micken. Harris won it to Folletic. Now kicking the kick, he's third. Dragged it a bit. Pressure was applied to him. So 2-1 to Folletic, or 2-2 rather. And it's 6-5 to 9-8 with West doing all the scoring. I'm sure there's nothing in the breeze. If there's anything, Robert, I know Port are kicking with it, but certainly not this much.
It's only 13 minutes gone, so there's at least that much longer left. West Adelaide have got to consolidate somewhat by scoring a couple of goals this term. They had a good lead. Hamilton a bit slow getting it on. Finally, West Adelaide forced it forward, but Anderson recovers first. Well done. He gets it to Tony Giles. He's tackled and brought to the ground. He gets a free kick from the back for around the neck. Umpire Charlesworth ignoring it. The other umpire getting up there just from much further back awards the free kick. I don't think umpire Charlesworth had any intention of awarding that from around the neck, because I think it was a pretty fair tackle.
Giles towards Harris. Winter against him. Borchard. Somerton missed it. Harris and Somerton. Again a ball up. As Robert mentioned, West Adelaide making a lot of mistakes with the handball.
The take too, Bruce. They've just lost a little edge. There's no reason why they should have. This is the little thing that's crept into their game over the years. They mustn't let it happen after such a magnificent first quarter. That's Borchard certainly working hard. Gross has been in good form, and he rebounds towards Linda. Linda pushes in the back. It's a free kick against him, not penalised. Umpire put whistle to mouth and took it down. Morris to full forward. Luger's early. Rebound by Danny Hughes.
Kinnear panicked a bit then, West Adelaide, when they went into attack. It was a poor kick by Morris. Lee gave Luders little chance. Kinnear to centre half forward. Peter Winter to Hamilton. Back to Beach.
Slow motion.
Rosser to Hamilton. Now can they do a little better? That's not all that good a kick, because it gave Eckerman a chance, but it's also given Conlon a chance. He just jumps over the top. One bounce. Now kicks towards the goal square. Kennedy's getting back. So's Craig Ebert. And it bounces through for a behind. Little fella Conlon's kicked 2 points. Port Adelaide crowd gave him a little cheer on as he jumped over their idol Eckerman. He couldn't quite finish it off. At least West have got a score, Robert.
Folletic. Hughes. Long out to the half-back flank, Eckerman. Quickly onto the boot towards Kinnear. Very good take by Kim Kinnear. It's off balance slightly. He gets it back to Ross Aegis. Aegis in the front position ahead of Beach. And Ross Aegis, who's kicked 2 goals to this point. Long into the full forward area. Craig Williams in front, pushed in the back with 2 hands. Receives the free kick. Made very good position then. No trouble with accentuating that fall forward as the umpire decides not to pay it. The fella behind takes it, Bruce. Off hands to Bradley. Handball out to the wing. Kinnear can't pick it up. Bradley gets it back to him. Well done, Bradley. Kinnear. Finally, Belton goes back to Kinnear. Not an accurate handball. Puts him on his left leg, and he's gone high into the full forward area. Clifford from behind with one hand. Aegis can't take possession quite there. Somerton. And West Adelaide in possession and rebounded.
Roger Winter punches a handball to Hamilton. Kinnear charges him up the front.
It's too slow, Bruce. Richard Hamilton is just trying to evade all the time, and this is what Westies are doing. They're taking possession and trying to evade instead of giving straight off. He thought he was free then, and I don't think you can ever assume that in the game of league football. There had 2 players ahead of him, and he went to turn back, and he turned straight into the oncoming Port player. He didn't even feel he was there.
Hamilton from half back.
Didn't hurt him, Bruce.
No, he's all right. Punches a drop punt. Winter with a fly, and also Kennedy. Morris in after it, but Bradley's having a tremendous term. McKinnon juggles a mark.
Good mark.
Got good skills, McKinnon. He's got Watson giving him some run now. Folletic won't pick Watson up. Watson towards Luders on a lead. Just bounced inside. It'll be a ball in. least West Adelaide prepared to take a bit of a chance there. They seem to lose confidence every now and then in themselves.
Well, they've got a big enough lead, West Adelaide. 9-9 to 6-5. They've got to consolidate with a couple of goals, though. Belton gives it across to Giles. He gets a free kick for what should have, one would have thought, holding the ball, just leant forward and fell over. And what I would call a pretty pathetic effort for any league footballer to do, let alone the umpire to give a free kick for it. Tony Giles to centre wing. No one touches the ball. Peter Winter trying, and he can't take possession. It'll be a bounce down on centre wing.
6-5-9-9. It's Micken and Harris. Philetic loose in the centre at the moment. Watson's going to get around onto him in a minute, I think. Tap forward by Belton. Hamilton. Clifford. In danger. And McKinnon. Now Somerton. Gets away the handball to Peter Winter. Now that one's holding the ball. See, there's some inconsistent umpiring just at the moment here.
James umpire's a bit worried they're not going to get home from Alberton tonight.
Well, they might, because they're going the right way. Gross has got the mark at centre-half back. Murek comes on for Hamilton. He's had a couple of hard knocks in the last couple of minutes. Grosser towards the centre. Kennedy and Micken. Murek. Gee, that's well taken by McKinnon. One bounce. Two bounces. He's got some run. He runs his full 15 metres and then punches it for the goal. And Hughes takes a good mark, and it's going to be paid.
Over the shoulder, Bruce has paid the free kick for penalising, before a high tackle over the shoulder.
Richard Hamilton's gone down to the room, so he might have just a bit of a problem.
Long kick to the half-forward flank. Mark Micken awarded the mark from the flank position, stopping the ball. And Micken now with a chance to put West Adelaide into attack. They've certainly got to lift again. They've got to get their mind on the job. They're not getting the ball as quickly as they did early. With that slight trailing breeze, with the ball coming in long, they were okay. But now it's dropping a little bit shorter. They're not coming up to the ball fast enough to compete. Peter Winter plays on quickly for Roger Winter. Short, Grosser, Lindner. Good tackle by Kennedy. Another holding the ball decision. Well done. Very good tackle by the big fella.
Lindner seems to have gone to sleep all of a sudden, Robert. He's magnificent early. Craig Everts had 10 kicks from the half-back flank. That's Russell Everett to the centre wing. Watson high. He's got the mark against Belton. Then goes to play on. He'll be caught holding the ball. No, 15 metres.
Quite right. In that case, the umpire wouldn't have called play on, and at no stage did Belton let him go. You can't play until the umpire's called it. And if he hadn't called play on in his mind, then the player's not allowed to interfere. Well, it's John Faulding coming on as Micken takes the kick to Lindner, is leading forward. West has got to get their call back. Bruce, that's all.
Somebody's lost their boot at centre-half forward there. Standing right alongside Russell Eve with the boot. Lindner with a strong kick. That might be what they wanted. It's gone through. $1 million player, Winter. That's a goal. Lindner, I should say. 1-2 to Lindner, and it's 10-9 to 6-5.
Yes, if they get their mind back on the job again, Bruce, they've got to make sure that they don't let themselves get upset by anything. They've just got to keep attacking the ball and getting the ball to work for them, because Port Adelaide are playing very well at the moment. They're trying to run the ball, they're trying to get to the ball, and they're doing it very well.
10-9, 6-5. Micken and Kennedy. Belton waited for it. Now Morris is a man without the boot. Bennett towards the pocket. Grosser did very well, and he's taken a great mark against Eckerman. It's on in the centre too between Belton and Morris. I think it's all okay now.
He got hit and he didn't like it, so he took on Jeffrey Morris.
Morris has had a week and a half that he'll never forget. Going to get out of the road and get his boot back on. And Ken Grosser score for West Adelaide. They've stopped Port's big run. It's a fair way out, the little fellow. Punches a drop punt. He's got the distance. Just missed right-hand post, so Grosser today 3-1. And Robert, West has steadied a bit. It's 10-10 to 6-5, and Port's charge has been stopped momentarily.
Well, they were 7 in front at quarter time. Bruce only had to score 3 this quarter, and it would have been a very difficult thing for Port Adelaide to catch up. Jeffrey Morris, very good mark. That's his boot behind at centre-half forward a moment ago. Goes into the pocket to Luders. Luders from the front position. Doesn't get a free. Muret gives it back to Luders. Kicks across the goal, and the little fella's there again. That's a 15-metre penalty. Will bring him right up into the goal square. The umpire didn't award the full 15 metres either, Bruce. Would have been interesting to see what the player would have done if he'd have put him right in the middle of the goal line. He's only awarded him about 10 of the 15 metres on this occasion. It's an important goal. John Harvey will be very close to within 10 metres of the mark. The back screw for a goal. Leon Grosser has kicked 4. 11-9 now to West Adelaide. 6-5 Port Adelaide.
Muret almost caught holding the ball, but he was able to get it to Luders. Luders' left footer was a floater. Grosser stood his ground well and took the mark, and Eckerman a little foolishly, because Grosser was deep in the pocket, pushed him over and gave away a 15-metre. Stephen Williams is starting to get set. Port in a bit of trouble again now, 76-41.
Mark Micken and Ben Harris. Harris knocking the ball forward. Curtis. Long. Watson intercepts. Gives it across to Randall Bennett. Bennett out to the wing. West Adelaide are running again now. Muret brings the ball underneath him, then handballs it straight to the opposition. Gets it back after a good tackle. Gives it to Bernie Conlon. Conlon now with an opportunity. He's got the pace. Kicks it across to Morris. They're really fiddling West Adelaide now, and they've got the run of the ground. They've even stopped handballing and going for short kicks, and Danny Hughes rebounding through Greg Anderson.
Towards half forward. Peter Winter fell over, so did Dexter Kennedy. And Kennedy didn't chase it too hard for a moment, thinking he was going out of bounds. But he got it to Belton, to Gill. Gill to Aegis on a lead. With him, Mark Beach. Aegis in the pocket, uses Feletic. Feletic runs deep into the pocket, then snaps over his shoulder. And it'll be a ball in. Port wasted that one, just as Bernie Conlon wasted one at the other end about a minute before.
So they've lost their ability to give it to each other very quickly. Port Adelaide taking a change. Belton off and Williams on. Feletic takes the ball and just pushes it out in front of him. West Adelaide players not watching the ball. So it'll be a free kick to Milan Feletic. A little lucky to get it. In some circles that's deemed to be in possession if you've got the ball there and you're only making with it. But I'd pay that holding the man. West Adelaide player very careless.
2-2 to Feletic so far today. He's missed. So Port have missed a couple of easy ones, Harris in particular, but now Feletic from 2 free kicks. Can't afford to do that. 6-6, 11-10. Craig Williams. Micken will give him the lead. Now he's going to go straight down the centre. Clifford's there with 3 opponents. Somerton takes a mark. That's a free kick to Clifford.
For shepherding when the ball wasn't within 5 metres. He ran back in, blocked in front of Clifford, then marked the ball. I think he would have been better off if he hadn't gone for the ball at all. Would have kept the umpire happy.
Anthony Williams takes the mark after Clifford's has wobbled a screw punt towards the goal square. So Anthony Williams has kicked just the behind.
It's a very interesting one, that, Bruce, isn't it? Because he put himself right under the fall of the ball. It's not as though he knocked the player out of the road, Greg Somerton.
Williams kicks truly. Port Adelaide 7-6, West Adelaide 11-10.
It's very difficult to know what to do. He could have, in fact, jumped up and made some effort to resist then by running in a little bit later and just left his run a fraction later. But the fact that he interfered with the player when the ball wasn't within 5 metres resulted in a penalty. But, of course, we see all day players fighting and contesting for the ball when the ball's not like that, and not penalised very often. But Port Adelaide have taken advantage of it. They've kicked their 7th goal. They're 7-6 to 11-10.
Micken and Harris in the ruck. Micken's done all the ruck work for West Adelaide. Port have had a couple doing it for them, Kennedy and Harris in particular. Bradley through the centre with a very strong kick towards centre half forward. Beach was underneath it. Williams through his legs. Aegis took a dive. And it's going to be free kick against no, going to be a ball up.
He's trying to explain to Aegis what he did. We're having a bit of an education out there. Now the umpire's going to tell the players what they're doing, when all he has to do is umpire it and penalise the man if he just leans forward.
Kennedy, Conlon, run down by Stephen Williams. Cantalaftis, Gill after him, and it's going to be a ball in. So we're into time on with Port Adelaide trailing by 28 points.
Bernie Collins a bit slow with his handball reflex, Bruce. I think he likes to run with the ball. Craig Williams, right and left hand, then knocked forward by Port Adelaide. Free kick there to West Adelaide now, as Roger Winter dives on top of the ball. Roger Winter now. Sorry, Bruce.
I was going to say, Robert, that Hamilton's had a dislocated shoulder, but I think it's been corrected by the trainer, so there's a chance he could still come back today.
Oh, I doubt it. Gee, I would have sprung some ligaments if that's happened. Larry rocks around his body. Free kick after disposal. Now West Adelaide starting to get a few free kicks. Winter, Linda rather, he can evade, got the power on the turn. Long to half forward, Muret in front, trying to take it on body. Harvey, Craig Ebert, Tony Giles. Giles to centre wing. Winter from behind, Kennedy's too tall, playing to centre half forward at the moment. Bradley, beautiful kick Bradley, straight as an arrow, flying high. Roger Winter. Anthony Williams about 8 yards over the mark. The umpire paying no attention to it whatsoever. He goes to his brother Peter. Bradley checking quickly.
Peter Winter, Kennedy's underneath it. Lindner pushes him in the back, not paid. Free kick should have gone to Kennedy there. McKinnon missed it. Stephen Williams ducks. Then handballs to Bradley. Bradley charges towards the goal. Folletic and Watson and Anthony Williams.
What a wonderful kick Bradley is. He reflexly kicks the ball to the spot where he gives his teammate an opportunity to get at it. He kicks it on the right side of his teammate where he's got the run of the ball, and Anthony Williams made no mistake with the mark.
Kick 1-1 today. Very close to time in the second quarter. Just dragged that a bit. Quarter missed 3 chances in this quarter. 1-2 to Williams, 7-7 to 11-10.
Yes, Anthony Williams is usually a very reliable kick. That was an important one at the 29-minute mark. Port would have only been 3 behind. The kicking by Williams to Roger Winter. West Adelaide still taking enough possessions, but their accuracy of disposal at the moment has dropped off markedly. Port Adelaide taking advantage of it, particularly through Bradley across the centre. Spoiled forward by Harris. Stephen Williams. Anderson. The handball not good, causing Anderson to come back. Goes towards Kennedy. He can't take the ball. Alan Gill gives the ball to John Harvey. And John Harvey kicks the goal. 8-7 to 11-10. Port Adelaide making a comeback now.
Neil Curley making a point there to Graham Hebbard, the runner for West Adelaide. That's John Harvey's first goal in league football. He's only played 7 games. The back pocket player. Played 1 game last year. Played all of them this season. And he'd be pretty happy with himself after putting Port Adelaide within 21 points. They've been just wearing West Adelaide down all through this term.
Mark Micken and Ben Harris. Harris is knocking it forward. McKinnon intercepted by Harris. Runs on with the ball. Watson stands in his road. He gets ploughed down. McKinnon with power. Clifford bodies him out of the road as he kicks it. Bennett coming from one angle. Aegis from the other. Aegis gets there first. Picks it up. The siren sounds for half-time, with West Adelaide leading 11-10 to Port Adelaide 8-7.
Half at Alberton, 21 points of difference. West leading 11-10 to 8-7. Richard Hamilton has a dislocated shoulder and is off the ground. Did it in the second quarter. Kennedy won the tap. Curtis got a bad bounce. Kennedy won it back. Stephen Williams and Mark Beach grabbing onto one another, and it'll be a ball in half forward. Port attacking. Quarter time, West led 9-8 to 2-3 at half time, 11-10, 8-7.
Harrison Williams. Summerton. Borchardt. Micken. Summerton. Good handball. Falls over to Muret. He loves to do that. Beautiful give off though to Borchardt. Got great feel as Peter Muret. Into the half forward line. Leon Grosser, who's had a great game up there in that forward line today. Straight at the centre of the goals. It's a long kick. Faulting. It's a loose take by John Faulting. If he'd let it go, it's a goal. It was in his hands, so he could have been expected to mark it. And that's it. The score to the little fellow Grosser is 4 goals to his kick.
Hughes to Curtis. Then Hughes provides a bit of run, but Curtis with a drop punt. Bradley and McKinnon. Bradley had a sensational second quarter. That's a wonderful mark. Eckerman. Handball wasn't all that good. Went behind Eckerman. Eckerman's out of form at the moment. Conlon. McKinnon. Bradley spoiled him beautifully again. Balled in.
So you can make yards in the ball. The players are so quick, Bruce. That floating kick is not on. You've got to get it to the player very quickly.
Micken getting a free kick against Kennedy. Had a pretty good duel, these two. Faulting uses his body well against Craig Everett, and he takes the mark. John Faulting's normally a very strong and long kick. It's a long way out, I know, but Faulting's very best would score from here. He's a leading goal kicker in the reserves to date. Drop punt is not accurate, but Lawrence has taken a sensational mark.
Out of the ground, into the clouds.
Great mark, wasn't it? He took off and hung there on Dexter Kennedy, and he's taken the mark. And Luders, quiet first half, kicked 1-1. Not the most accurate kick in the world, but he's kicked 296 goals in his career, and that is as straight as a die. So 2 goals to Luders. Robert, that's just what West wanted, a quick start, 12-11 to 8-7.
Certainly is, Bruce. They also need Roger Luders to show a little bit of attack on the ball in that full forward area. If they can attack him as they did then with that long and strong kick. But John Faulting, once again, showing that he can mark the ball. He missed that one in the goal square just a few moments ago. And then, hands on the ball, and the kick, easy ball to mark, kicked it nice and high, and gave Roger Luders an opportunity to get at it.
Kennedy and Micken. Curtis to Bradley. High drop punt. Peter Winter from the back. Anthony Williams in the front. He takes a very good mark.
He penetrates Craig Bradley. His kicks, they're all counting, Bruce. He's putting them up there, and his forwards have always got an opportunity. Tim Evans, you can imagine how much he's going to love playing ahead of him.
Craig Williams obviously not playing at full back. Peter Winter's back there. Anthony Williams has kicked inaccurately again. So he's kicked 1 goal 3 today. He's normally a straight kick. And it's 8-8 to 12-11.
Yeah, that was straight, Bruce. Straight off line.
Craig Williams looks like he's at centre half back, Robert.
Yes. Conlon. Roger Winter, that was well evaded actually. He was in a bit of strife. A good rebounding kick to half forward. Linder flies. Receives the free kick for interference. Bruce Linder going across the ground. Strongly towards Morris. Faulting. Over Morris's head and Clifford. And John Faulting. That's his distance, Bruce. There's no reason why he can't get this. It's just a slight trailing breeze, although I must admit I think it's stopped completely now. It's probably being a bit unfair to say he's got a breeze behind him, because I think it's really died away. 55 metres. It's long, strong, and straight. Lovely kick. John Faulting's first. West Adelaide's 13th. They're 13-10. Port Adelaide 8-8.
Craig Everett and Stephen Clifford disappointed that Faulting was given that mark. Clifford claiming that he touched the ball on the way through. Faulting taking the mark a long way out. As Robert said, within distance to him because he's such a strong kick. He timed it beautifully and through it went. So it's 89 to 56 and Porter in trouble early in the second half.
Mark Micken done a good job early in the first quarter. Kennedy better in the second. Kennedy gets that knock away on then. Something caught with the ball and is penalised for holding the ball. The umpire seems to pull his holding the ball. The whole crowd is dumbfounded. Then no one even got excited about it. It was just a simple stalemate. Holding the ball. The umpire keeps playing, and one thing's for sure, the game will keep moving. Another kick from Bradley's marked by Ben Harris. Gives it on quickly to Harvey. Chance for his second goal today and career, and it's like that. Straight through the centre. Harvey up with the game. Scores for Port Adelaide. 9 goals, 8 now Port, 13-11 West Adelaide.
Craig Bradley's had today 12 kicks and 5 handballs. He had an enormous second quarter where he had 8 kicks. Screw punt Harris was a very good mark, and Harvey provided some run. And as Robert said, he was lining up for his second goal in his career, and he made no mistake. He's a very accurate kick.
Neil Curley shifted Craig Williams to centre half back because Kennedy and Harris are changing there, and it's Kennedy on the ball at the moment. He taps it forward. Bennett doesn't take possession. Curtis throws it away. Kennedy slips. Player dives, falls over on top of Kennedy. Perhaps he should have been penalised for a trip. Laying his body in front of him, gives it across to Clifford. Clifford very high to half forward, one of his few kicks for the day. Craig Williams times his run perfectly, takes the mark and then plays on. Watson gets in his road, so he goes back the other way. Up at half forwards, Muret. Kennedy recovers quickly, picks the ball up. Long handball out wide. Greg Anderson with the run of it. Coming back onto his left foot on a wide arc into the centre of the ground, and Curtis takes the ball.
Curtis from the centre square. Winter and Aegis. Cantalaftis coming in to help to Bennett. Bennett had a quiet second turn. Winter fell over. No poor player putting a tackle on him. To Cantalaftis, to Conlon. Harris will try and run him down. Lindner and Ebert took off early. Lindner kept his ground. Harvey fell over. So did Ebert. Trying to get away with it. To Curtis. Did that well, but the kick very bad. Randall Bennett. Fielding's going to set himself again with Craig Ebert. Ebert in the front spot. Kennedy to Giles. Giles with a floater. It's going to be difficult to mark. Watson, Foletics in his back, no free kick. Somerton sort of paved the way to Micken. Micken to Grosser. Grosser's probably the best little man on the ground. Bit long there with a handball, but he got it to Morris, and Morris will chip it to Borchardt.
Borchardt marks the ball. Wide in the pockets outside his distance. He tries to play on to Morris. I believe as he tried to, he does. All Morris got to do is kick it straight, and he has. West Adelaide score. Well done, West Adelaide. 14-11 they are. Leading Port Adelaide 9-8.
Morris backed that ball up well because he took the handball from the centre of the ground. He chipped the ball across to Borchardt. Of course, he ended up getting it back, and he kicked accurately. So Jeff Morris has kicked 3 goals, 1 today. We didn't expect him to play on Sunday night. He was in hospital, but he's back with a vengeance.
Mark Micken. Dexter Kennedy. Kennedy just laying it down. Grosser runs without it. Just puts his body in. Ball's trapped at his feet there by Roger Winter. And there'll be a bounce down again in the centre of the ground. It's been a really close game in many respects. But in other respects, West Adelaide up forward have just been too good up to this point of the third quarter. Port Adelaide just hanging there. Ages over half forward, long and strong. Peter Winter fisting away. Grosser roving in front. Jeff Morris running the ball on. A free kick to Greg Anderson. That's a very careless free kick given away by Leon Grosser with his teammate with the run of the ball. It'll be Greg Anderson from half forward to put Port Adelaide into attack.
Playing on the wing today, Anderson. Anthony Williams was going to go early. Clifford there, and Winter takes him up.
Trouble.
Left foot to Morris. Morris chips it away, but not accurately to Watson. Watson was able to break Bradley's tackle. Chases it himself. Craig Ebert after him. And McKinnon picked that up beautifully. The handball to Micken was accurate. Micken from the centre with a long one. Muret and Luders both fly. Muret off the ground. Now he's got the run of it. Can Russell get to him? Muret's handball just to the square. Eckerman trapped it well. And then with a drop punt, gives it to Folletic, and Port Adelaide can go from half back and attack.
Folletic to the centre. Grosser in position. Well done. Lovely tackle. Gets the ball away. Trying to evade again first there. West Adelaide fell into that trap in the second quarter. Conlon being called back. West Adelaide trying to evade before they give the ball off to their running teammate. And it's getting them into a bit of trouble. It means that the ball's being slowed up on many occasions, and they're making errors on the give because they're under pressure when they're doing it. Kinnear dropping into half back from the wing. Well done. To centre wing. Bradley. Russell Ebert did that a moment ago against Lindner and wasn't penalised. Bradley must have done it a bit worse. McKinnon. Oh, that's a very long kick. Screw punt. Coming from the side, Muret. Spoils Kennedy. Faulting. Throw. Penalised. Player obviously hitting the ball with an open hand. Roger Winter not happy. Port Adelaide players pleased as punch.
Tony Giles from full back. Folletic provides him with the lead. Takes them out comfortably. Folletic wasted the last ball he had. Harris on the lead. Morris in the front spot. Almost did enough to be given the mark. Not paid, and again a ball up. Centre wing. West since half-time has kicked 3-1. They started very quickly. Port 1-1. Kennedy again with Williams. Greg Anderson. Milan Folletti. Picking up some kicks as he's playing loosely on the ball. Curtis goes for a dive and he gets a free kick. Against Cantalafis, Stephen Curtis, former West Australian, to the goal square. Now one out it is. Williams and Winter ages a kick a goal. He didn't. Very well done by Winter. Stalemate, ball up. Gee, Robert, he just couldn't get the ball onto his boot.
That was very well done. Then he was caught holding the ball. Umpire didn't pay it. So there'll be a bounce down right next to the goal line. Ben Harris there with Craig Williams. Anthony Williams tackled. Kicks the ball through for or behind. So Port Adelaide score. They're 9th behind. They're 9 goals 9. Trailing West Adelaide 14 goals 11. As Peter Winter brings the ball back into the grandstand flank. Micken from the front, lays it off towards Kinnear. Finally he gets the handball away. It's not accurate. West Adelaide player diving on top of a free kick. Awarded. Bennett plays on. Kinnear comes in and has a go at him after he's got rid of the ball. Linda tries to tap it on rather than take possession. Russell Leavitt recovers. The first time he's gone into attack for the day from that half-back line confidently. Gill. .55 metres. It's got the distance easily, but not the accuracy. And it's through for a behind. Port Adelaide 9-10. West Adelaide 14-11.
2-1 to Alan Gill. Bruce Linda again making a very loose error. The idea was okay, the execution very poor. Winter. Micken, good mark. Played really well today. Big Micken. High drop punt. Muret takes a fly from the back. Harris the front. Giles to Kinnear. Kinnear controls the leg. Kennedy almost a good mark. Then taps it to Eckerman. Eckerman gets a very quick kick in. Beach with one hand. Well blocked there by Stephen Williams. And again a ball up. It's good football there.
Kim Kinnear getting back into that half-back line quickly. Bruce is defending well on a couple of occasions for his team.
14-11, 9-10. Well, Williams interfered with Kennedy. Kennedy just stood his ground.
Is that shepherding, Bruce?
No, I don't think so. I think he was just going for the ball and Williams took off early and ran into him.
Dexter Kennedy. Front of the square. Williams with a run from behind. Peter Winter from the front takes the mark. Well judged mark. West Adelaide have got to get the ball moving. They come out to the grandstand side. Bernie Conlon to Micken and Harris. Harris sprawling away. Out of bounds on centre wing. Port Adelaide 9-10, West Adelaide 14-11. Micken and Harris. Harvey's up there on the ball. He's been there all day. Changes, following his man. Nice take by Bradley. Not right to bounce just because someone's running behind him. He just judges his pace perfectly into the square. Anthony William or Alan Gill. They both got hold of the ball. The price is play on if you both got hold of it. They both stopped it dead, so it had to be a Port Adelaide mark. Four chart now. West Adelaide get a break going their way. They complained a bit in the second quarter that things didn't go too well. Faulting now. He's got the pace. Gives the handball to Luders. I mean, through Luders. It didn't go to him. But Luders recovers very well and gives it back to Grosser.
Craig Ebert in trouble there for Port Adelaide. He might have just got a cork thigh, I think. Limping away.
You know, it's that handball that John Faulding gave.
100 miles an hour. No wonder Luders couldn't take it.
He did. He went straight through him.
It burnt his fingers. Little Grosser's kicked 4-2. He's a very accurate kick normally.
Actually, the player could have gone through and kicked the goal himself, Faulding.
Grosser's got it. So Little Grosser's got 5. And West Adelaide have got a big grip on this. It's 15-11 to 9-10. They're leading by 6 goals, 1. Grosser 5 goals from the pocket.
As John Faulding came across that play very quickly then, took hold of the ball. In fact, I would say his momentum was so great that he could have run around the back of Roger Luders when he took the ball and run all the way himself and kicked the easiest of goals. In fact, I think he could have even given the handball about 10 metres later when Luders had reached the goal square a bit ahead of him and just set the play up for him. But Luders' kick back was very well executed.
Micken and Harris in the ruck. Port need a bit of a lift. Harris won it to Curtis. Curtis has won the ball out of the centre 2 or 3 times in this term. Gill, Bennett, one-handed handball and has been penalised.
Too slow on the reflex. Little Randall Bennett at the moment. He's not getting rid of it. He's trying to evade first.
Bradley to the goal square, not quite getting there. Williams and Winter against one another. Now Roger Winter to Bernie Conlon. Back to Peter Winter. Linda takes an easy mark. Kinnear takes it off him, but Linda actually gave it to him.
He's thinking that's to take it. Bruce Winter from centre wing. It's a good kick to Jeff Morris. That's a powerful kick. Reminiscent of the one Neil Button did last Sunday that got Norwood back in the business. Morris to the square to Luders. Beautiful spoil away by Danny Hughes. Through from behind. A rush behind to West Adelaide. They're now 15 goals 12. Port Adelaide 9 goals 10. Port Adelaide can't get a couple of goals quickly, Bruce. They're 6 behind. They're in a bit of trouble.
It's a bit like the week we saw them against Norwood, isn't it? They got a long way back and then finished strongly but couldn't get there. Anderson with a quick kick to half forward. Cantalaftis missed it. A just swoops on it. Then fell over. Clifford. Gee, Summerton's done a job on Clifford today. Williams threads his way through. Left foot will go through. Stephen Williams gets a goal. Port Adelaide get one. It's 10-10 to 15-12.
John Cantalaftis ran without the ball then. Didn't judge his run at all. He just kept running and wasn't concentrating on the take of the ball. Left it behind, and then Port Adelaide got an opportunity to get hold of it. And finally, Stephen Williams, with a bit of strong play in that pack, came back through it, and on his left foot kicked a very well judged goal. And now Port Adelaide 5 behind. That was a much needed one at the 18-minute mark of the third quarter.
Micken and Harris in the ruck. Micken won that one. It went through Bradley's fingers. Bennett went without it. Lindner fell over. Oh, Bradley's playing a good game. Stephen Williams. Half forward flank. To his brother Anthony. Oh, one-hander. Juggled it for a long time. Hasn't kicked too well, Robert.
No, he hasn't, but he won't miss this one, Bruce, I don't think. Oh, Craig Bradley. Can he keep running for another 35 minutes?
1-4 to Williams, 2-4 to Williams. So the Williams brothers kicked 2 goals within a minute, and Port Adelaide are back in it at Alberton, 11-10 to 15-12.
Yes, that certainly was a very good kick. Bruce Linder's starting to fall over a lot today. He's losing his balance on the ground for some unknown reason. When he's coming for the ball, he lost it then, and then Bradley got hold of the ball and quickly shot it into that half-forward line. And what a wonderful player Craig Bradley is. His balance is excellent. Foster Williams, a bit of a smile on his face about his boys' effort. They put the Magpie back in with a bit of a chance. He's just getting his head out of the pie now, Bruce. The Westie Bloods, we're just going to chew him up in a minute.
Harris and Micken. Grosser. Kinnear, well done. Watson.
Bradley's there again, Bruce. Did you see how well he read that ball? He'd come up and followed that ball. It was as close to it as you could get.
Watson looking for something up forward. Eckerman. Borchardt tried to take his running. Still with Eckerman. A very good tackle by Beach. Conlon pushed in the back.
He's too slow, Bruce. Bernie Conlon is far too slow on the give. Conlon to Micken. He could have got that ball on quickly if he'd have given it straight away, but he was going to evade first also. It's a bit of a tired leg by Micken there across to the half-forward line. And Greg Anderson dropping back, takes the mark. Anderson, natural left-footer. Coming to the grandstand, half-forward flank. Kennedy, interfered with. And the play on. And Stephen Williams, he goes straight at the goal front. Winter and Anthony Williams rush through from behind to Port Adelaide. They're 11 goals 11, trailing West Adelaide 15-12.
Nick Curley looks very tight there. He must be worried that West have given away a couple of very big leads today. They led by over 7 goals at quarter time. At one stage in this quarter by over 6 goals. The lead's just 25 points at the moment. Winter to Micken and Harris with him, and Faletic takes the mark. Port have lifted a bit, Robert.
And they're playing all right, Bruce. They've been, as I said a moment ago, it's a tight game. There's not much in it, but West Adelaide have always just had the advantage up forward. Curtis, Aegis falling over, lacks the leg power. Grosser falls over, holding the ball. Like the umpiring is just unfathomable, in my opinion, to understand how an umpire he goes, oh, it's okay to pay it, but why do every instant we sit up here looking at looks different?
Stephen Williams, a long way out to take his very best kick. Drop punt, not a good one. It's a behind.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds, in fact, not even that good. Stephen Williams will be disappointed with himself.
Peter Winter to the outer side half-back flank. Faletic again with a chance. He can't take it. Grosser, who's rode well. Port Adelaide obviously missing Brian Cunningham's strength around the packs. Conlon through his hands. Taken away by Port Adelaide. Giles to Kinnear. Kinnear to the goal front. Winter in front. Spoiled away. Candelaptis. Beach. Micken working hard. Puts his hand up and controls it. Well done, big fellow. And a long, strong handball to the captain, Borchardt. He doesn't take the ball. He gives the handball back to Micken. Micken to half forward. Morris, who's been up there waiting for some time after that bit of bad play by the West Adelaide skipper. Larry Watson now to receive. Watson goes straight at the goal front. Luders in front. It's a goal. So that's a goal to West Adelaide. Increased their lead to 5 goals again. They're 16-12. Port Adelaide are 11 goals 11.
Liam Borchardt will be very happy that Larry Watson ended up getting that goal, because he really messed up the first movement there along the wing, taking his eye off the ball, but he was able to get it back to Micken. And eventually the ball got to Watson after Morris had been waiting there for ages on that centre wing. Watson's kick from half forward was very, very good and floated through, and West Adelaide lead by 31 points.
Jeff Morris, well done. Mark Micken. Micken to Bennett. He can't take this. McKinnon, who did some good things early. He's been a bit quiet lately. It's been a Bernie Conlon, a little handball on the up. Roger Winter evades, then runs into the pocket. Muret's got his eye on it, so has Harvey. Harvey to Ebert. Craigie caught with the ball, kicks it back in front of the goal. And he's found Roger Luders. Very good bit of tackling there by the West Adelaide player, Randall Bennett.
Not often you see Russell Ebert caught like that and then kicking the ball under pressure.
Well, he had to get rid of it, Bruce, and he tried to get it away. He knew he was gone for holding the ball. Luders has kicked straight. Very good goal. 17-12 now, West Adelaide. 11-11 to Port Adelaide. And we're just approaching the time-on period of this third quarter.
Yes, Ebert under great pressure there. Just able to get a kick in, but it was a floater, and Luders read it very well coming up from full forward. Must have thought that all his birthdays had come at once to take the mark, and then he converted. So 3 goals to Luders. West Adelaide have got that break back again. Mike Smith warming up on the bench, anxious to get back on.
Mark Micken, Ben Harris this time. Harris gets the take. McKinnon gets the ball. Micken, what a great job he's done, the big fellow. Goes into half forward. Linda early. Long handball by Muret. All Connor's got to do is take it. It's a goal. Well played, West Adelaide. Bit of accuracy then, a bit of quick giving. Muret gets his hands on the ball. He can certainly do things. And that makes West Adelaide 18-12, leading Port Adelaide 11-11.
Bernie Conlon's first goal. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. Some good football out of the centre. Robert Curtis was winning the ball out of the centre early in this quarter, but McKinnon's got his hands on 2 or 3 balls recently. They've been able to work it out of the centre, West Adelaide, and Conlon didn't panic, took the handball and then just popped it through.
Micken and Harris. Nice knock forward by Harris. Well played by the big fellow in Kennedy. Kick forward by Clifford. He hasn't had many kicks this afternoon. Off hands to Candelaptis. Clifford charges him up the front after he got rid of the ball. A bit late, Stephen Clifford. It's better to get where the ball is. As there it goes through Bennett down to the forward pocket. Muret again in front of Harvey. Showing a bit of pace this time. Controls the kick into the goal square. His accuracy's not good. And Craig Ebert relieves for Port Adelaide.
Greg Anderson and Jeff Morris. Morris picked it up well, and the quick kick is down 14. Good skills by Jeffrey Morris.
It was well done.
Because he was under great pressure. John Forting has had a little bit of an impact since he's come on. Made a couple of errors, but kicked a lovely goal. A bit closer this time. 45-degree angle. Drop punt is very good, straight through. And West Adelaide has kicked 4 goals in 4 minutes, and they lead 19-12 to 11-11.
Therein lies a feature of the game. Jeff Morris's skills, off the foot as he anticipated that ball from Craig Ebert, that is kicking it out wide to the flank. He picked up the ball, recovered it from West Adelaide, put it into Faulting, and Faulting kicked the goal. Two beautiful kicks, one a neat little pass, and the other one a very high, accurate kick for goal.
Micken and Harris in the centre. Port desperately need another goal or two before three-quarter time to have any hope, I think. McKinnon, Kinnear. Gee, that's fair enough, Bruce, because that's what he did down the other end of the ground. I know, but two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, it makes it consistent for the players.
Sure. Linder towards full forward. Lucas has marked it. Port Adelaide seem to be rattled, Robert, up at the back. A couple of times there that they haven't had players at the fall of the ball at all.
No, it's the quick movement in, Bruce. They're getting it away. The whole secret of this game with the square is to get it out of the centre. And with Craig Bradley held control of the game for the first 15 minutes, you can't expect one man to do all the work. It's a long kick by Roger Luders, and offline, through from behind. West Adelaide break their run. They're 19-13, Port Adelaide 11-11.
3-2 to Luders. Curley must be happy with the situation. He's 8 in front with just over a quarter to go. Hughes down the centre. Oh, what a mark to Bradley. What a player he is, Robert.
He's got his strength back, Bruce. He's just had a rest for 3 minutes. Port Adelaide, and Westie's kicked 4 goals while he's just getting his breath back. Eckerman to Curtis. Curtis just falls over again. Don't like Curtis's play that much, Bruce. He tends to fall over all the time. Gets the handball away, and Giles now for Port Adelaide into full forward. Anthony Williams, Peter Winter spoiling away. Mark Beach is playing it ahead of him and out of bounds.
West Adelaide has kicked 8-3 in this quarter. They kicked 9 in the first quarter when going to that southern end. Port has managed 3 goals for. Williams and Kennedy. Gill falling over, Summerton with him, and so's Beach. Again, a ball up. Well, can Port get out of it, Robert? They're 8-2 behind.
I don't think so, Bruce. Not to produce a prolific last quarter. The other opposition only have to kick 3 goals to win the match between now and the end, I'd say. Unless they can get 3 goals this quarter.
Cantalaftis. Micken, what a game he's playing now. To Morris. To Borchard. Drop punt. Eckerman getting to the fall of the ball. Tried to take it on the half volley. Tilting handball a bit strong again. Grosser. Murat holding the man. Craig Ebert having hold of Murat, and it'll be a ball up.
Gee, that was very lucky. That's 8 goals, 9 goals if he'd have been paid that free kick. The ball nowhere near Peter Murat when he was pulled off the ball. Pulled away from the ball, in fact. He wasn't pulled off it. He wasn't even over it. It'll be a bounce down about 30 metres from goal. Linder flies, tried to take possession. He can't. Now there'll be a bounce down again. 19-13 West Adelaide, 11-11 Port Adelaide, and Westies are certainly in a commanding position at this late stage of the third quarter. Knocked away by Port Adelaide to Russell Ebert. Ebert can centre wing. Dexter Kennedy done quite a good job when he's been resting at centre half forward. Longer for Milan Faletic. He can't take the ball. Pulled off it. Holding the ball. In possession, made no effort to knock it out. Player pulling him off. And therefore, a free kick.
15 metres against Alan Gill. So Larry Watson comes up to the centre wing. He doesn't take advantage of it. Kicks it almost to the man on his mark. Just got past Faletic. Borchard with a high one. Kennedy underneath it. Murat coming in late. Harvey tries to barge his way through. Micken, very good reflex handball. That one on the up to Murat. To Morris. Morris, a strong kick off one leg. Luda's taking off now. Gross has got the chance. Couldn't get it up. Finally got it to Faulding, and Faulding's kicked the goal. Hit the goal umpire, but it'll be a goal. You watch this. 3 to Faulding.
No, I think Bennett got it, Bruce.
No, I reckon John Faulding.
No, something went wrong. It came back to Randall Bennett.
No, what happened, Robert? It hit the goal umpire. It went through for a goal, bounced off the goal umpire, and then
yes,
Bennett swooped on it. But it's definitely John Faulding's goal. No risk about that.
Your binoculars, Bruce, I would bet 1,000,000 times. 20-13 to 11-11, and they've certainly gone ahead now. That was a very handy goal. Port Adelaide couldn't afford that. Danny Hughes still remonstrating with the umpire.
So it's Micken and Harris. 2 lots of 9 goals in 2 quarters by West Adelaide. See, Williams had no opportunity to get rid of that. Condon in the centre.
Umpires are certainly a little hard on holding the ball. If they do, the game will certainly run a lot faster. Beautiful fly there by John Harvey. And he marks the ball at half-back. and he will rebound for Port Adelaide. Goes to Ivan Eckerman. Bruce Linder hot on his tail. Eckerman, high to centre. Siren for three-quarter time. West Adelaide 2013. Port Adelaide 11-11.
West Adelaide leading by 56 points at three-quarter time. Can Port Adelaide make one of their famous charges? Kennedy and Micken. West has kicked 9 goals in 2 quarters here today. They're kicking to the other end this time. Anderson's handball to Kinnear. Giles had to wait for it though. Then tackled by 2 opponents. Somerton, McKinnon, high kick. Lindner and Ebert underneath it. Craig Ebert coming in to lend some assistance. Lindner tried to tap it forward. Still Lindner, he's got some strength. He shrugged off Russell Ebert. Chips a pass. Ludus fell over. Hughes takes the mark. Went to play on. Got it to Harvey. Harvey has kicked 2 goals from the back pocket. Goes to Belton. Belton can't control it and it'll be a ball in.
Yes. Bad kick there by John Harvey. Didn't get the ball to spin at all. Belton's on the ground in the place of Stephen Clifford. Mickett doesn't get the ball away well. Bradley, what a wonderful player he is. To centre wing. Board of West Adelaide players. Somerton. Evades, gets back through the middle. Summit to centre half forward. Murat underneath the ball. Harvey from behind. Murat takes it on the body. You don't see enough of that these days. Well, he did take it on his hands. He didn't come down low to the body, I should say. Peter Murat. Not sure what to do with the ball. Goes wide out to the pocket. Roger Luder's not interested. I don't know who he was kicking it to in the end. And Danny Hughes gives the ball to Paul Belton, and Paul Belton rebounds by Port Adelaide.
Cantalaftis has to wait for it to Micken, to Morris. Had a very good game, Ross, but he's out of bounds when he kicked it, and it's going to be a ball in. Port Adelaide need 2 or 3 very quick goals to have any hope whatsoever. We saw them against Norwood in a similar position. I think they were a bit closer, though. I don't think they were this far behind. I think they were probably 6 behind. They got very close in the end, but as Robert said earlier, all West really has to do is kick 2 goals now, and Port can't win. Belton to Kennedy, out of bounds on the foot. Bad luck for Dexter, because Robert, he hasn't been Port's worst today. He's been by far that.
No, hasn't been disgraced at all. He's done quite a good job. Where Port Adelaide have been missing, I think, Bruce, is around the packs. They haven't been able to get the ball away, except for Bradley. But around the packs in their roving division, their run on ruckman, they certainly haven't had any ascendancy at all. Oh, there's a free kick. That's very dangerous. He could have really hurt himself. Harris pulling Linder down. I think he's hit his head rather badly. That's a very dangerous trick that fellow did then. He hit his head on the ground. Bruce Linder. Into full forward. Kick ducking slightly. Ludus from the back. Off hands to Hughes. Hughes to Giles. Bradley's back in defence now. He's trying to do it everywhere. Cantalaftis under the ball. Holds his ground. Goes across to Larry Watson. Watson's missed it. Just knocked out of his hands by Ross Aegis, and it'll be a bounce down in the centre of the ground. With West Adelaide leading 20 goals 13 to Port Adelaide 11-11.
In the ruck for West Adelaide, Micken. Kennedy's there for Port Adelaide. They've been side by side for a lot of the game. Grosser went without it. Stephen Williams will get a free kick in the back. Centre square to Stephen Curtis. Goes out wide. God, Bradley can cover some territory. I looked through the binoculars and saw him and didn't believe it. Did that very well. Then with a long one. Anthony Williams, and also back there Peter Winter. Winter should have been paid if he wasn't. Anthony Williams dives in over the top of it. Feletic. Still Anthony Williams. He's trying to barge his way through. And after about a minute, it's going to be a ball up. Too much happening just there.
Bounce down right in the goal square. Craig Williams coming in to contest it. Anthony Williams and Feletic also just knocked forward and out of bounds by Peter Winter. And now there'll be a throw in right next to the Port Adelaide goal. Dexter Kennedy coming down very quickly, lays it back only as far as Cantalaftis. He's caught with the ball and is penalised for throwing, and Port Adelaide receive a free kick in front of goal to Milan Feletic.
Feletic today, 2 goals, 3. He's had a few kicks, Feletic. He's 14th. Played at centre half forward flank, follower. Drop punt. He's got it. So Folletic's kicked his third. 3-3, not a bad effort by Folletic. Port Adelaide are 12-11, West Adelaide 20 goals 13.
Well, the play sort of stalemated slightly at the start of this last quarter, Bruce. There's not much just happening. But the one thing that continues to happen is that Craig Bradley is working hard. He's worked back into defence for Port Adelaide, and then when they got possession at centre wing, he worked up to half forward, and he's the one who got the ball in there to give them that opportunity for Letty to score.
Micken in the ruck against Harris. Port need 2 or 3 quick ones. Bradley off the ground. Beach caught with it. And just a little slow in his return to league football. Off the ground again by Port Adelaide. Watson to Beach. Randall Bennett, who's had a quiet day for him. Centre wing. Looking for Borchardt. Taps it forward towards Roger Winter. Just keeps it in play, then caught. Still with it. Holding the ball against Roger Winter. I guess he's going to take it, Robert.
Bradley. Who else? Like, it really is this Port Adelaide side this afternoon. One man versus the rest. Maybe he's having too many kicks. Maybe he is trying to do too much. And he's getting them into a bit of strife. Who knows? But he's certainly put every ounce of heart into the game that he knows. Another holding the ball decision against West Adelaide and half back against Craig Williams. I doubt Bradley will be able to get the full forward to kick the goal for them. What a great game he's played. Ross Aegis. High. Anthony Williams with a run at it. Spoiled away by Winter. Somerton. That's good play to Grosser. To Peter Winter to centre half forward.
Bradley's got it again. Russell Ebert. A quiet one, Russell. Peter Winter with a good mark. And a steady job. Both the Winter boys have had good seasons. His 12th kick. Looking towards his brother. Now Micken taps it onto Craig Williams. Forced onto his left foot with a high one. Anderson gets underneath it. Couldn't take it. Giles through the centre. Loves to run with the ball. Strong kick to the goal square. Anthony Williams set. Watson. Out of bounds on the full. Just a bit loose there, Watson. He probably should have tried to handball it, I think.
I can't believe that he would have done that, Bruce, actually. Like, he had it in his hands, he must have had no feel for where he was on the ground. He only had to handball it up the line and out of bounds. But now Ross Aegis has got a chance to score for Port Adelaide.
Ben Harris coming off and Baker coming on for Port Adelaide.
Ross Aegis. A very nice leg. A very straight kick. Ross Aegis scores. Port Adelaide's 13. They're 13-11. And West Adelaide are 20-13.
Aegis has 3 goals today. Watson just caught on his wrong leg, I know, but he was running towards the boundary line. And really, once he put the ball under his boot, there was only one way it was going to go, and that was out of bounds. Anthony Williams was going to take the free kick. Umpire made him give it to Ross Aegis, and what a good decision that was for Port Adelaide, with Aegis converting from the pocket.
Mark Micken still there against David Baker. They've thrown everything against him. McKinnon knocks it on, only as far as Kinnear. Kinnear high to the half-forward line. Front position to West Adelaide, but Morris knocking it away. Bradley's there again. There's 5 of them after him. I'd like to lay money that they won't catch him. Bradley to half-forward. Curtis in front, taking the mark. He plays on quickly. It's floating straight at the goal square. Aegis is under it again. Roger Winter recovers for West Adelaide.
To Watson. Watson to Cantalaptis. Cantalaptis to Somerton. It's had a great game again today. High one by Somerton, faulting from the back. Craig Ebert to Tony Giles. Swings the ball to centre half forward. Stephen Curtis takes the mark. West Adelaide playing a bit wide with their running players. They left 3 Port Adelaide players on their own. Kinnear running up the centre of the ground. Kicks the goal. First goal to Kim Kinnear, and Port Adelaide with a bit of a run on. It's 14-11 to 20-13.
Port Adelaide on that rebound play then, when they came from the centre wing position. West Adelaide had possession of the ball. Ian Borchardt was standing on the boundary line. They had 2 players short on the boundary line and 3 Port Adelaide players inside the play. It was those Port Adelaide players, when they received, ran up the ground and finally resulting in Kim Kinnear's goal.
6 goals to the difference. Surely Port couldn't get out from here. Baker with a tap. Borchard. Muret sets himself with Harvey, and Harvey takes the mark. Just gave Muret a little bit of a shove, but Harvey stood his ground well. Played a useful game. Greg Anderson on a lead. Against him, Bennett. Anderson breaks through the centre. One-way traffic at the moment. Alan Gill. Round his body with a long one. Filletic getting himself set. Roger Winter holds up the kick and does it well to Cantalaftis.
Very good skills, Roger Winter. John Cantalaftis tends to be a little bit loose at times. He has a fairly quiet day. It's a constant bit of play to Larry Watson. West Adelaide trying to run it again. Watson dodging and turning and decides to kick it back to Paul Belton. Belton can't take the mark. Jeff Morris, the left foot is running sideways. And finally lets go across his body in towards Luders. Hughes bumps him out of the road. Luders recovers. Well done. Rosser can't take possession. Well done, Russell Ebert. Gives it to Tony Giles. Giles to Hughes. Port Adelaide running down the centre wing towards Curtis. Curtis takes the ball, then plays on. He's got Belton running for him. Gives it to him. Port Adelaide into attack. Belton will probably go long and strong. He's definitely within distance. Off hands. Behind. Exciting bit of play there. A little unfortunate Port Adelaide not to score full points. 14-12 to 20-13.
6 goals won the difference. West Adelaide goes short to Conlon, to McKinnon. McKinnon through the centre. Gets around Kinnear, then has a bounce.
That's what happened last quarter. Bruce Bradley bolted for 10 minutes and then McKinnon got a few touches.
Muret takes the mark. Handball onto Borchard. Went without it. Over the top, Harvey. Borchard's going to get a very lucky free kick.
They've paid those most of the day though, Bruce. He jumped over it. He in fact tripped the Port Adelaide player by diving underneath his legs and then received the free kick. And umpires pay those frees. I think if players don't stand up, they don't deserve to get them. Bradley's looking good at centre half forward. He's down on his haunches. The poor man, he must not have a gallop in him. It's only a behind though to Borchardt. He's failed to really take advantage of that opportunity. And it's 20 goals 14 to 14-12.
Hughes with a magnificent screw punt to the centre wing. Williams and Lindner got in the road of one another. Kinnear round his body. Watson caught by Anderson. Bennett to McKinnon. McKinnon's played a good game. Luders should get it. He didn't. Hughes got in late. Fulting drags his way clear. Left foot snap has just missed. It's a behind. 3-1 to Fulting. 20-15 to 14-12. 12 minutes gone.
Sure, West Adelaide could use that player, McKinnon, in the centre. He's got to work a bit harder at getting after Bradley, I feel. He's got to stay with him. And Bradley will take him where the ball is. There's no doubt about that. He's watching him closely now. Oh, nice fly, Craig Williams. And take. And then to scoot over the back. Bradley was there. Bradley working back into half-back. Williams between centre wing and half-forward.
On a lead, Muret over the back. He's got the mark. Giles in the front spot. Hughes comes in strongly. Luders comes in to help Muret. A bit of a wrestle going on. Not much in that. Except 15 metres. Gee, that's the shortest. Of course, that doesn't have to be 15.
No, I think it's up to 15 metres.
Right. Tony Giles should be careful. It might be a little longer. Umpire really only gave Peter Muret about 5 metres there.
Might be 2 weeks longer.
And Muret today hasn't scored a goal. This would be the sealer. Drop punt. Straight through. Muret's first. And Port won't get out of it from here. 21-15 to 14-12.
There's a little bit of confusion was put forward then, because when Muret went for the fly, flew for the mark, took it, and the umpire blew the whistle, and he was a little bit slow with the whistle, and Muret had half moved on to continue the play, and then of course he stopped immediately. The umpire blew the whistle, even though he was going to go into run, and the Port Adelaide player offended, and the umpire gave a 15-metre penalty.
Micken and Baker in the centre. Baker with a big thump towards centre half forward. Gill trapped it well. Gave it to Belton. Good football. One bounce. Kicks the ball to the goal square again. One hand, Winter takes the mark. Robert, this is where Tim Evans has been missed.
You and I thought of the same thing at that time. His ability to mark up in front of goal. He had a short kick on then, but it's great to know that you can just kick it to the goal screen. You're going to have someone that there's 9 out of 10 times going to give you a good chance to mark it or compete well.
Anderson, after Micken's handball wasn't good to Bradley. Bradley marking just before it touches the ground. This is his 22nd kick. Punches a drop punt towards full forward. Winter again. Anthony Williams over the back. Gill tried to get through the pack. He couldn't. And it's going to be a ball up.
Robert McKinnon's into defence now. If he just stays with Bradley, Bruce, I think he'll be better off. He's got enough pace to pick up the occasional kick on Craig Bradley and the strength. So as soon as he came back on Bradley, Bradley's gone up there with him. Knocked away by Williams. Into the pocket. West Adelaide player taking the ball and waving it over the boundary line. But he could have kept it into play. That's Mark Beach. Out of there, Dexter Kennedy. Well taken there by Curtis. High in the air by Gill and out of bounds on the foot. So it's 14 goals 12 to 21 goals 15. West Adelaide showing Port Adelaide a clean pair of heels at the moment. The wind has certainly died down if there was any that was favouring the bottom end. West Adelaide won the toss. And of course now Port Adelaide find there's no wind left to help them to come home.
Greg Summerton from the back pocket. Not all that good a kick. Giles will take the mark. Micken coming in late. Tony Giles almost within scoring distance. He's a very long kick at times. So the state squad at the moment has some chance of playing against Victoria that big game on Monday week. Giles. Drop punt. Hooked it a bit. Trying to get extra distance. Through for a point. So it's 14-13, 21-15. Port Adelaide not doing well enough after 16 minutes of the final quarter.
It's interesting just while we're waiting to kick, just looking around at some of the people in the grandstand are closely associated with the clubs with their red faces. Bruce, the tension on them, they build themselves up on Saturday afternoons too. Linda's tackle when he's called to play on. Ball's picked up by Gill. Moved on to Bradley. Bradley to Curtis. Curtis has got nowhere to go except into a wall of West Adelaide players. Anderson gets a quick kick forward into the square. But it's offline. And through from behind. And Port Adelaide 14-14. Trailing West Adelaide 21-15.
First point to Greg Anderson. He's had 12 kicks and 10 handballs. He's done a pretty good job. Anderson only playing in his 4th league game. Good mark by Lindner. A tremendous pair of hands. To Beach. Back to Lindner. Lindner's kick towards the centre. Conlon in the front spot.
He marked the ball, Bruce. It was a fantastic mark. The umpire blew the whistle because he jumped early, but the trouble was, he marked the ball.
So Craig Ebert gets the free kick from the centre. A floating kick to centre half forward. Anthony Williams at the back. Milan Folletic. Stephen Williams went without it. Bennett trying to get his way through that pack. And it's going to be a ball up. So game just dying a bit. Not a lot happening. 7 goals. 1 the difference. And Port Adelaide too far behind to get out.
Craig Williams. Dexter Kennedy. There's a good kick forward by Bradley, but he got a Z-grade bounce. So it's 14-15 to 21-15.
Port Adelaide peppering away. Kicking too straight. This term, Summerton has paid the compliment at 3/4 time. With Clifford being taken off. Hugging the boundary line. Micken and Baker. Micken in the front spot. Cantor left is forced to run out of bounds. And it's going to be a ball in. Scoreboard wrong at the moment. It's 14-15, 21-15. Kennedy at the back. With Williams. Cantor Laftis. Breaks the tackle. And punches a drop punt in towards the centre. Lindner in front of Ebert. Oh, Ebert did that well, though. Tapped it back to his brother, Craig. Craig Ebert's had a lot of kicks from half-back today. Anthony Williams sets himself. Oh, that's a magnificent mark by Peter Winter. Got up early and hung on to it forever. A bit like the one Anthony Williams took in the 3rd quarter.
Peter Winter. Just inside half-back. Out towards John Faulting. Baker can't complete the mark. Borchardt. Roger Winter. Got a bit of reflex, Roger Winter, off the give. Nearly waved out of bounds by Faulting. Faulting to half forward. Eckerman gets back. Watch it, Bernie. Literally on the back of that. I don't know what he's moaning for. If he'd have turned around, he could have marked it. Eckerman to the centre. Kinnear. Kinnear goes straight down the middle of the ground. Micken can't take the mark. Stephen Williams. Bradley, what's he doing out here? He's everywhere. Oh, beautiful balance. And handballs it back towards Kinnear again, who kicks it very high in the air. And the mark's taken by David Baker.
Kinnear's had 21 kicks today. Baker with a handball to Giles. Giles with a left footer. And Aegis will take an easy mark. Centre half forward. Aegis. 30 metres out. Ross Aegis has kicked 3 goals today. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Drop punt is a pretty good one. Just missing at the last moment by Aegis. So 3-1 to Ross Aegis. And it's 14 goals, 16 to 21-15. That scoreboard, I think, is 1 point out at the moment.
The kick in. Candelaftis receiving from Peter Winter. West Adelaide certainly played very well here this afternoon. Long kick up the wing. McKinnon from behind. Very well judged mark in front by Craig Ebert.
Come on, Craig.
Craig Ebert, the centre half forward. High in the air on off hands. Curtis. Falls over, recovers, scores 2 points. 15-16 to Port Adelaide. 21-15 to West Adelaide.
Port Adelaide within 6 goals. Curtis running around, getting a second opportunity at that, and hooked it back over his shoulder from centre half forward. Nobody really at home for either Port or West Adelaide, and through it went. So Curtis has got his first goal. He's had a busy last term. Put Port within 6. We've got about 10 minutes to go, and not even the Magpies can get out from here.
Well, we've got a chance, Bruce. 6 goals in 10 minutes. Could be done. A bit of magic play. McKinnon can't take possession, but it'll have to be super magic. They'll have to fly him in on the Solomon's carpet, isn't it? There's a little bloke up there, get out of his Aladdin's lamp or something. Ball bounce. Borchardt hitting it forward. Muret. Watson. Wide to Linder. Ebert coming in. Linder judges it well. Done a good job since the first quarter. Russell Ebert's kept Bruce Linder down in the play. Oh, it's a prodigious kick. Ball spoiled through by Danny Hughes. Danny Hughes growing to be a very big, strong man now, Bruce. He's certainly, as he's getting older, 19, 20 years of age. And it's now 21-15 to 15-16. 21-16, I'm sorry, to 15-15.
Gee, Hughes must be the longest kick in the league at the moment. He kicked that ball almost to the centre. It was well into the centre square. Aegis towards centre half forward. Anthony Williams using his body strongly against Peter Winter, but too strongly, and not within the rules of the game. And Winter gets a free kick. He's done a good job. But as we said before, Tim Evans is a man that Port is really missing at the moment. They want him back, and back in a hurry. Micken on a lead. Muret. Tackle wasn't all that strong, and he was able to get a second chance as he gives it to Morris. Belton came in a bit late. Morris punched the ball towards Faulting. Well, taken by Faulting. Sold the dummy on Hughes, but Hughes propped on him and did it pretty well. Eckerman. Roger Winter will get a free kick. Ivan Eckerman disgusted with himself, or the decision, or but.
Yes, he just had his body put in front of him. Roger Winter threw himself across the front of Ivan Eckerman. I don't think Eckerman did anything against the free kick in terms of interfering with the player. I think the player moved into Eckerman, but nevertheless, Roger Winter's going to take this free kick. I'm not sure whether that score is right, Bruce. Whether it is 15-15 or 15-16. I don't think it's going to make much difference. It's 21-16 to West Adelaide. It's now 22 goals, 16. And they should be very happy. I don't think Port Adelaide can get back in any way now with 7 goals, 1 the difference.
Roger Winter getting that free kick after Ivan Eckerman coming very strongly on him. Winter being paid the free and converting. He's had 13 kicks and 8 handballs today. He's had over 20 touches and done a pretty good job. First goal for him.
Mark Micken and David Baker. Micken hitting it forward to Bradley. Bradley's tackled whilst not in possession, held on to too long. He had possession, tried to kick it and couldn't. Well, he was held on to, and he'll take the free kick. He's kicked well all day, although that leg looks a bit tired now. Front position up there in defence. It's Roger Luders, I thought it was. It was. It is Roger Luders back in defence. Kicked on by Bennett. Bennett up towards the centre of the ground, where Greg Anderson takes the mark.
16-year-old Greg Anderson from St Michael's College. He'll be playing in the Tour Cup in a couple of weeks. It's a magnificent kick towards full forward. Folletic gave Somerton a bit of a nudge. Peter Winter has defended splendidly today on top of it, and again a ball up. So West Adelaide nice and safe. They've kicked 2 goals, 3 in this quarter. Ford has kicked 6 goals, 5. Williams to Peter Winter. Mark Beach. Bernie Conlon.
A bit of reflex marks, Mark Beach.
Kinnear almost. Bennett with him. Kinnear's had a lot of kicks today. 21 kicks to Kinnear. Bennett, on the other hand, has had 8.
Williams, off hands. He can't take possession. Another bounce down on the half-forward flank. 22-16 West Adelaide, 15-15 Port Adelaide. Craig Williams, Dexter Kennedy, kicked around his body by Kinnear, knocked on by Curtis. Giles up in the half-forward line. Curtis running on, takes the ball, evades, runs all the way into goal. He's just run the first 20 metres. He did it well, but he's run far too far. And he'll be penalised for holding the ball. And West Adelaide will receive a free kick in the back pocket, and that free kick to be taken by Roger Luders, unaccustomed position for him to be taking a free kick. So Roger Luders from the back pocket into the centre. Spoiled away. Watson can't take possession. Free kick now in the centre to John Harvey. Harvey to the flank. Aegis on the lead. Aegis marks. The game dying a natural death. We're into the 27-minute mark. West Adelaide have played magnificently in a couple of fine bursts in the first and third quarter. Aegis straight to the goal, off hands and through. Another rush behind to Port Adelaide. They're 15-16 and West Adelaide 22 goals, 16. Craig Williams, off hands from Aegis. Baker. A wide, high kick. Curtis. Gill. Anthony Williams. So many Williamses. Point to Stephen Williams, little rover. 15-17 to 22-16. Port Adelaide doing all the attacking at the moment. West Adelaide, I think, maybe sensing that they've got the game well and truly under control. It'll be Peter Winter. Grandstand flank. Micken in front. Baker from behind. Spoils it away. Kicked away by Luders. Only as far as John Harvey. Harvey to centre half forward. Kennedy. Dexter Kennedy getting the Bronx cheer for some reason, I'm not sure what. Hasn't done a bad job, the big fellow. Certainly had a good contest with Mark Micken today. Kicks long and straight. Very good kick. 16-17 to Port Adelaide. 22-16 to West Adelaide. From West Adelaide's point of view, it's important if they could have to keep the score down as far as Port are concerned. The percentage is very, very important. Particularly this early part of the year, if you can build up a good points for and keep the opposition's points forward down, and that'll be the points against you, of course. If you can keep those down, that percentage will grow. That's very important. David Baker gets the bounce to favour him, lays it back to Bradley. Bradley to half forward. Williams in front, spoiled away by Kennedy. Beach coming through the pack, went to handball, held it back, then misses the body. Belton sees Folletic giving him a lead. Someone gives himself a run at it. Gill can't take possession. Luders, well done, Roger Luders. Randall Bennett. Bennett into McKinnon. Gill receives to Conlon. Conlon straight at the goal front. It's a short kick though, intercepted by Harvey. Knocked on by Grosser. Muret, he's caught. Gets the ball away, but too slowly. And the umpire deems that he had plenty of time to get rid of it. And he's penalised for holding the ball. Kim Kinnear from half-back for Port Adelaide. To centre half-forward. Greg Anderson. The final siren. There's some very happy West Adelaide supporters this evening. West Adelaide 22 goals, 16, 148. Port Adelaide 16, 17, 113.